Warp speed. Don't rainbow read me, nigga. Rest in peace, Lance Reddick.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. Like the instantaneous, like, you see the news and you're like, Lance Reddick died, and you're like, that's fake. Dude's like 40.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. And then I scroll and it's like, oh no. And I'm overwhelmed with the feeling of, as appropriate as it is, this is bullshit.
Natural causes at 60 is a head scratcher. I don't know what that means.
Dude was made out of muscles and lean as fuck.
He looked super
What hope
healthy.
do any of us have?
I don't know. When I hear that, it makes me think of, like, just in your sleep, you know, you just pass away in your sleep type of thing. But yeah, he looked super duper healthy, and I don't know. But shout outs to, like, fucking what a character, and just like one of the classic only ones to shake Eric Andre, you know.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole of, like, okay, what is the actual genesis of that entire segment? Because I originally thought that it was staged, and then I thought, no, wait, Eric looks like terrified, so it's not staged. And the answer is it's both.
The
Reddick
answer
didn't.
go ahead.
Sorry, after you.
I'm guessing that some people knew and Eric didn't.
So the weird. So I went into it, and it was Lance Reddick did not know what the fuck the deal was with the Eric Andre show. However, before appearing, he found out what the deal was with the Eric Andre show, which put him in a really weird situation. Right? So he talked with Eric prior, and he's like, "Yeah, I know about your bullshit. Okay, fine, let's do something." And then they, like, got the costume ready, but the stuff that happened before Warp Speed was not planned. He did not tell Eric that he was going to come at him and punch a hole in his desk. So the fear on Eric is real. He did not know that was going to happen.
Shit. Where's my iconic slave role? Yeah, nah, man.
It's the best Eric Andre show bit ever.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah. No, that's a very sudden and weird one. Not unlike it is, though, again, just the 60 natural causes bit is like, man, you just never know, right? I remember the bit of the episode on bullshit where they talked about Jack LaLanne, and it was like, yeah, you can increase the quality of your time by getting healthier.
Healthiest man in the world.
You can be super duper, like, flexible and, you know, like, feeling good every day and not hurting your back, not hurting your muscles, all the way up to the end if you're super duper fit. But the number is the number, and there's no stretching that number. You can reduce it with, you know, like smoking and things like that, actively drop it, but you can't really increase it until at least the next major science breakthrough.
I think the real takeaway here is that it turns out Lance Reddick was also a big fan of Destiny and was playing it, like, pretty much immediately prior to his death.
Is that why he jumped in? Okay.
So I'm not sure if he jumped in after he got the role or vice versa, but, like, he was Zavala. He's the blue guy that you see on everything, and everybody is, like, basically having a little sit-in in front of his character
at the tower.
Who was a permanent fixture.
Okay.
And it's just like, Lightfall just couldn't take another day of playing Destiny 2. Just couldn't do it anymore.
I guess that one whiffs over my head, but yeah.
Not another goddamn weekly. Oh, come on. Is that too soon?
I don't get it.
Anyway.
but all
Oh, you
right.
don't get it?
No.
Destiny 2 is bad. That's the joke.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just the names dropped. I whiffed on there, but anyway, yeah, that's a bummer. That's a and it's like, I guess when I think of like with Chadwick, for example, it was like, oh, he made a decision to just like hold that silently and like not talk
He was
about
ill
it.
for quite some time, wasn't
He did, yes, and everyone around him knew, you know. Same thing with like Norm Macdonald, for example. Like they kind of just held it close and only let their family and loved ones know. In this case, it doesn't appear to be anything like that at all. It just is like, yep, that's it, you know. So, I've
he? It
been
reminds me of like when I was younger, I had a teacher that had a brain aneurysm and just like was in the hospital for multiple years and then came out with like full retrograde amnesia. And I remember talking to other teachers about it. It's like, yeah, so what happened? And the answer is
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
her brain
yeah,
just decided to pop at like 45.
yeah, yeah. There was a kid who went to not my high school, but to a mutual friend of ours' high school, who like just died in his sleep overnight
In high school.
in high school, and it was like literally it was again like natural causes in high school, like just died in his sleep, not like stopped breathing, not apnea, just literally just body just stopped overnight. And like that was one of the times I remember being like, that can fucking happen. And it's like, it's extremely rare, but it can. You can
Yeah, there's a
just
kid in my high school that
pass
passed
away.
away, but he had like heart problems that were known. It wasn't just
Yeah, there was no specific thing to this that was like, oh, something acted up. It that was it, you know. And that kind of is like that. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure once you get like an autopsy or something, you can break down exactly what caused what to happen before the heart stops, you know, type of thing. Like must be but I'm sure there's a bracket that they largely categorize as natural causes that like, you know, those things would fall under. So, yeah. So, anyway,
it honestly makes me a little terrified.
it's
Because Lance
everyone.
Reddick is a lot more fit than me.
Mm-hmm. Everyone, yeah, you do kind of stop and think about your own mortality in these moments for sure.
Dude, I hate thinking about my own mortality.
I also am like looking at. Well, it's just funny because on another note, like Punch Mom's been slowly working her way through The Wire, and it's been taking a long time. But like, I'm like, okay, so you started, and during the course of it, Michael K. Williams passed away, right?
Right.
And now, like Daniels has passed away.
I believe the guy who
And-
played Prop Joe also died.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not certain.
okay. So yeah, and it's just like,
And
man,
Snoop's in jail.
yeah, well, yeah,
Snoop's in jail forever.
yeah. So I'm just like, yo, can you like finish this already? because like it's been like the stretch of time that it's been of her going through it has been where like all this news of people passing away has been happening in this one thing, you know.
I mean, Wallace is Vegeta / Rocky now.
Yes,
So he's doing good.
and Stringer Bell is potentially James Bond, if not just killing it in every other way. So
I feel like this is off the topic, but I feel like it would be really stupid to not have Idris Elba as James Bond at this point. I have heard people talking about having Idris Elba as James Bond for like 10 years, and every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
yeah, but I think the last I heard of that is I'm not sure how much he wants to do it.
Oh.
Like, I think it's I think this has been a discussion that's been happening, and at a certain point, I think he was. But I want to say that like the most recent discussion with him about it was one where he's like, "Yeah, that could have been a thing, but I'm kind of past it at this point, if I remember correctly." So, you know, even if everyone's still trying to go like, do it. It's like, I don't, if he doesn't want to fucking do it, he's not going to do it.
You know what? I guess that's true.
So, yeah. He wants to be Knuckles instead.
I can respect that.
That's a choice.
That's a much more important role.
Yeah. But
am I joking? I don't know. I don't know if I'm joking when I say that Knuckles is more important than James Bond.
I mean, James Bond guarantees you at least 3 movies, perhaps 4, you know? And yeah, I don't know, like, if the next one is going to be as cool as, like, Casino Royale's reboot to the whole thing was. I
just
know.
Got a violent bout of confusion when you said Casino Royale because I thought you were talking about Sonic again.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't it's not to say that, like, you know, you can't ever, but I don't know if the same trick would work to do, like, here's another James Bond and here's this one's twist and his attitude and how it's going to differ from the usual, because, you know, Daniel Craig was a pretty far departure from the Pierce Brosnan. So
I feel like what we're probably going to see for James Bond is we're going to see like an Ian Fleming style James Bond that is like completely opposite of all that other shit.
Could be. It's interesting because I'm thinking about how, like, Doctor Who changed, you know, between their seasons and such, and that would happen much more frequently. So, like, they'd have a shorter period of time to, like, establish the attitude of the character. And in this case, yeah, I think it's been long enough that they could return to, like, the ultimate suit and tie up, you know, like, way classic. But I guess the question again would just be, like, can whoever they choose in the role, like, convey that energy in a way that doesn't suck?
You know what they need to do? They need to bring back Sean Connery's skeleton. Is Sean Connery alive?
I mean, no.
Is he alive?
No.
I don't. Is the answer no? Yes? No? He is not.
No.
No. Okay, bring back his skeleton and have it just punching women as he's doing the James Bond thing.
I'm pretty sure the last thing he did was punch the nearest woman, and then say no to that role in Skyfall, and then turn to dust.
Yeah,
I want to say that's exactly how it went down. Anyways, I saw also he Lance Reddick voiced a character in, what was the other thing? Was it? It was an.
I gotta watch Fringe now because I don't know what the fuck Fringe is, but I know he was on it for a long time.
And then he's another animated show. Not Horizon Zero Dawn. It was.
He was in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of though.
Apparently, he stole the show in the Horizon sequel.
And that, yeah, same thing I'm hearing for Resident Evil, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Gene was talking about that. Or like, hey man, this show is trash, but Lance Reddick is Lance Reddicking the fuck out of it.
Castlevania. I didn't realize he was the dude. Yeah, I don't think I knew. I didn't realize that was him.
Really? Oh man, he's like the best character in that whole season.
That's yeah, the idea that he's like carrying a bunch of these roles that you're going through is like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, man. Like, dude's iconic. Quantum Break, yeah.
Yeah, he was Quantum Break, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what he was because I didn't play much Quantum Break.
Okay. Well, anyway, how's your week?
My week was fantastic. I didn't do any work. Well, I did a little bit, but the long and short of it is that me and Paige have been to various degrees of extraordinarily locked down for going on 3+ years now. And as a result, we didn't really get to have a wedding reception. We didn't really get to have a honeymoon. And so we said, you know what? Fuck it. The numbers out here are good. The timing is good. The week is good. Let's just go out and have a vacation, like a delayed honeymoon that we didn't get to have before. So we went. We put the dog in a nice boarding house. We had a cat sitter come over and take care of the cat, and we went to Vancouver Island, and more specifically, we went to a coastal peninsula town called Tofino.
Vancouver Island, which is not Vancouver. Vancouver Island is
So Vancouver is on the mainland on the left side of Canada.
Yeah.
The big chunky island to the left of that is Vancouver Island.
Confusingly named because the city of Vancouver is not on Vancouver
It's
Island.
not. In fact, Victoria is the big city on that. And I want to say Victoria is actually somehow the capital of the province.
Ooh.
Is it? It is.
Yeah, you're right. It's like an Ottawa, Toronto situation.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's the stupidest fucking thing.
A lot of people
Victoria's
think Toronto's
really nice.
the capital, but Ottawa is.
We've come down to Victoria a couple times. It's really nice. It's very sunny. It's incredibly sunny. So we went down to Tofino, which is an incredible little coastal town. We got a nice place to stay. We explored the town. We fucking slept in with no animals jumping on top of our heads. Went exploring a bunch of beaches. Was fantastic. In particular, we actually went whale watching, which is something my parents is like in my head. Whale watching is a thing for your parents to go and do.
No, it can be cool if you're not being
so
risky.
Here's the thing: whale watching way more fun than I expected when I planned the trip. Like it's awesome. Like so like you're the first half hour of on the boat and you're like, oh look, there's the blowhole, wow, and it's like a fucking burst of mist like 400 feet away. And I'm like, is this the fucking thing? Is it 2.5 hours of, oh look, it breathed over there? No, in fact, actually, they get within like 10 feet of the boat and are the most gigantic fucking things that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I'm like, there's a weird thrill that I didn't expect, because I'm like, okay, here's a whale, okay, woo, and then the whale crests the water, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, whale, wow, that like this weird like internal joy.
They don't kind of sort of get near the surface. They super fucking exit the water and flop and breach and all kinds of wild shit.
Saw gray whales, saw humpbacks, and then we buzzed a bunch of sea lions that are just awful. Sea lions are just loud, ugly freaks just hanging out.
They're trying.
They are the aquatic variation of my dog. Gigantic, ugly freaks that just sit around on a rock going arr, arr all day.
Did you see a Loch Ness monster at any point?
I did not see a Loch Ness monster, which, by the way, is a whale cock.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. So we were talking to so there was the two people driving the boat, and Paige was like, "Hey, do you see the whales coming through and putting their cocks out of the water?" And she's like, "Yeah, but it's the wrong month." Right? They do that. When they're on the way to like breeding time. Yeah, they'll be like a bunch of the guys will just be hanging out, putting their dicks in the air.
Yo, check
but
it out.
But now's not the right season.
You looking? You humans looking? Are you seeing it? Like they only do it when humans are around, really.
So like it's this fantastic like magical experience. It's all the fun of a zoo without all of the moral anguish and guilt of a zoo. Right? With one tiny downside. And that is after you hit the open ocean and the boat starts rocking, we discovered that our sea legs were not what we thought they were. And it wasn't just us. It was every single person on the boat had like the hand on the stomach and was like, like deep breaths, just focus on the horizon. Look, there's an island over there that's not moving. Oh,
How big was the boat? What type of boat was it?
it was a covered boat that you could go out onto like the back, like like a fishing thing. So it seats like 10, and then like you could fit like 10 people standing in the little back of the boat. I don't know, like I think the lady said it was 8 meters long.
Okay, because I've seen people do whale watching in like really tiny little boats.
So the weirdest thing is you see that, right? So you
Yeah.
go out because all the boats from the area are all out at the same time, and they're all calling each other, "Hey man, there's some whales over here at
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 nautical measurement. Get over here," right? And so you see the other boats. You see, well, that boat's a little nicer, but it's much smaller. That boat's significantly less nice than the boat I'm in right now, but is much larger. And that is some guy in what looks like to be a kayak
Yeah. Yeah.
out here where he's going to die, but he seems chill with it.
Like there's basically I remember I've seen like a couple places where people go out in essentially like deck boats, just these really tiny, like you're 10 people but you're shoulder to shoulder bunched up, and like one whale getting way too close and rocking the waves means this thing's fucking flipping over. And
Wasn't quite that, but there was the definite period of like the lady at the helm the whole time is like throttling the engine per wave
okay.
to like try and mitigate it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds kind of like what the glacier boat was like. Yeah.
So like
Cool.
we stumble off the boat and go, wow, what an incredible, magical experience that we will never do ever again for the rest of our lives. Because I went and I seen it, and then it took like an hour to walk it off.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
just oh,
it's not always that bad, but it can be.
it was choppy. Like they're telling you that oh man, the sea's pretty calm today, and then they're out there and I can see the two boat people talking to each other. Go, yeah, it's weird. There's this underswell across the wind. I don't know what's up with that. It's as we're going,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
straight up and down. Like okay, whoa.
I mean, I've been on big ones that are like you literally like car carriers that just are more or less totally fine.
Yeah, so
And
when you come across from Vancouver or the mainland, right, to Vancouver Island, you take a ferry, and the ferry's fucking huge. It fits like 200 cars, or no, that's way too much. 50 cars, right? You don't feel shit on that thing. That thing might as well be a bus.
yeah, but I've definitely also been on the I was on something that was essentially a schooner from Grenada to Carriacou, and I remember there are points where it's hitting 45-degree angles before dropping minus 45.
Yeah, that's the shit right there.
And I remember my brother threw up, but I didn't, and I was like, "Ha!
That means you're the winner."
I won. I can handle it."
Yeah, that was our takeaway. That no one barfed, so we were like, "Okay, yeah, we did it. We did it." Let's see. Aside from that, yeah, Tofino's a wonderful fucking little resort town with tons of beaches to just hang out on and enjoy like the gorgeous like view of the Pacific Ocean with nothing in between it. If you go there during like the shittier seasons, like it's a beautiful resort town with beaches, right? But it's in BC, so it rains all the time. We actually encountered nothing but beautiful sunshine the whole day.
Nice.
Remarkable. But if you go there when the weather is fucked, that is its own attraction, because the weather is so fucked that you get a nice window in your room and just the world is just exploding outside your window from storms. Like it's like a storm watching place as well.
So it's not like romantically fucked, as in it's just raining. Like you're getting thunder and lightning and
Yeah, no, it's either cloudy, which is nice, It's either sunny, which is beautiful, or it's like a majestic, crazy storm that you watch from your nice window.
Approaching.
Everything we ate there was fantastic, except for one thing in which Paige got something where I'm not going to mention the name of the restaurant. Paige got something and was like, "That's weird. This doesn't taste right. This doesn't taste like it's supposed to." And, we replaced it. And then as we're about to leave, the waiter comes back. Is like, "So, we have a new menu. We have a new cook, and he's taking over for the old cook's menu. And so he tried your dish after we sent it back, and he's like, 'This is wrong. I made this wrong. I've been making all the food tonight wrong.'" And so we're walking out going, the chef has decided as a result that they're going to change the whole menu next week. Are you guys here next week? No, we're not going to be here next week. Well, we're going to go do a completely new menu. And it's like, we went to this fucking nice place, like the day number 2 of new head chef, and he's making every single dish in the restaurant wrong.
Christ.
Like, not bad, wrong.
Only what she ordered.
Yeah. Well, my order was like fine, but I don't have a particularly refined palate, which, you take the wife out, you go to a fancy dinner, right? And I come away with it going, that was an amazing fancy dinner that was worth about 1/3 of what we paid for it.
Right.
Because I'm actually still hungry.
Yes. But you're in a scenic vacation location. Therefore,
and you're looking at like a fucking 2-kilometer stretch of ocean.
So that's what you paid for.
Yeah, I'm paying for the view, and the view is spectacular.
Wow. Well, it's nice of them to come out and say that people after you won't have to suffer through.
And
like what happened.
So like the best part about it though is like Paige made the observation that he actually told us that after we had already paid, so he wasn't inventing a bunch of bullshit so that we would tip him for replacing our food or whatever. He was like, "No, listen, you're not crazy. It did in fact." But yeah, I have nothing but wonderful things to say about Tofino. Also, I haven't taken a break from streaming in a bit. I forgot how nice it is to wake up in the morning, put your feet up, and be like, I don't care about shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about any of this.
That's important. Got to do that.
It sure is. The only downside of the entire time was that I pulled up my phone to check an email, and I get blasted with Lance Reddick has died.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, just bullshit. It sucks.
Yeah.
We also, the trip through Vancouver Island to Tofino is also like scenic and mountain beautiful, like gorgeous, like one of those like little 2-3 hour drives that has like, here's the nature trail, here's a big bunch of giant trees, here's that kind of thing. Gorgeous. But it also has incredible stops such as a gigantic like acre of empty dirt with a gigantic 100-foot tall inflatable bong advertising, "Yo, we got bongs, dude."
Yeah, that's British Columbia. That's where you are.
It sure is.
What kind of beaches were you looking at? Were they the typical Canadian mud beach, or did you get like actually a decent?
Well, so it's not white sand. Right?
No, that doesn't.
That's not happening.
We don't get
that. It's like a cold beach, right? It's not the summer. It's March.
Okay.
Right? It's like hard packed, like dark brown sand,
dark sand and dark water,
and like just lots of gorgeous waves crashing into stone.
Okay.
Kind of beach.
Yeah, that's kind of the nicest we get. If not,
it was absolutely gorgeous, but like unless you want to surf. Surfers love Tofino, so it's like 0. and we're in our, our flannel and our jackets, and we're walking this gorgeous beach, and we
Mm-hmm.
look out and there's just a bunch of teenagers to 25-year-olds in full wetsuits
Mm-hmm.
surfing in the coldest fucking water I can imagine, looking miserable. No one surfing looked happy. They all looked fucking miserable.
Because they've committed to the lifestyle. You've committed to the bit. It's like similar to skating, really. Like people down at the skate park aren't really like going like, woo, yeah, 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 yeah. Like everyone's just eating shit and falling over because they're trying to get their fucking balance right. And once you've committed to it, it's not about the enjoyment anymore. It's about like hurting yourself the least.
Yeah.
Not dying on the rocks in surfing's case.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun when you go on those beaches and you see the gigantic sign that says "Do not stand on this rock." At high tide, this rock becomes an island. You will not be able to leave until low tide. And I always look at these types of warning signs. I'm like, oh, who was it? Who was it that decided? And you have my favorite sign is "All beaches unsupervised." In gigantic letters. I'm like, no one will save you.
No lifeguard.
No lifeguard to be seen. No, never. No. If you go in the water, either be fine or die and wash away.
Yeah. And like a lot of people who are like, there's surf locations where if you pull up to this spot on the map, it's because you have a level of proficiency that implies you know what you're doing. You should not be here if you don't, like whatever, like almost like skiing black diamond ratings and shit like that, so yeah, not surprising, but there's definitely a story behind each of those signs at some point.
We also got to have the fun vacation thing of like, okay, hey everybody, we're going to Vancouver Island, and then people flutter in and go, hey, why don't you check out this, why don't you check out that? I'm like, okay. So I'm on the way. There's an old market that's a fancy old market, part of Coombs,
Nice.
Coomer town.
Nice.
They have goats on top of the market. There's a bunch of goats hanging out. So okay, we'll go see the goats. The goats only come out in May. We went there for nothing. Oops. No goats. Not a single goat to be seen.
Damn.
And I get to have the fun experience of walking in and asking somebody, so this place is called Goats on the Roof, but there are no goats on the roof. Oh, no, we can't have the goats on the roof because there could be ice and the goats could slip and fall. And then I leave and I go, wait, you're worried about goats falling down? Goats don't fall down. Goats can... All right, well, there's no fucking goats here. And we also got the alternate suggestion, which is, hey, if you're going through Vancouver Island, make sure not to stop in Parksville. That place is a shithole. So we went to Parksville and got McDonald's and Wendy's at Parksville on the way to our fancy vacation. Nice. And I have to say, hey, the Parksville Wendy's is really nice. Also, the town seemed really pretty.
Okay.
And I'm really... You ever have that happen where someone's like, don't go here, it's a shithole, and then you go there and you're like, it's pretty nice here?
Yeah, I feel like that's happened before. Parksville.
It's the town that you go to right before getting on the highway to go through the mountains.
Okay. What's the one with all the colors?
That could mean anything.
Okay. There was a town that was like every house was a different painted color, and it looked pretty cool.
Oh, I don't think I encountered that. Okay. Though I did hear, hey, Port Alberni's a fucking shithole, and we stopped to get gas in Port Alberni, which is the town in between most of Vancouver Island and Tofino. Port Alberni's a fucking shithole. Like a town of 20,000 doesn't need this many Walmarts. Like kind of shithole.
So the other thing too is like, I don't know. Did you feel like that thing where you're going to a location or a place that it's like you're supposed to either be a kayaker, hiker, surfer. You're supposed to have an activity that you come here to do, but you're not participating in those, so
Yeah.
you kind of are like
So
missing a chunk of why you're supposed to be there.
so Tofino has two versions, right? Tofino has, yo, bro, we're gonna do some surfing and kayaking, bro. And Tofino has, hey man, put your feet up and read a book, look at the beach, and chill the fuck out, and go to a nice restaurant. We did that second one, and it was
Okay.
great, and
The
I'm
old,
so happy.
the seniors trip, right? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm old. Fuck it. I got gray everywhere. I don't give a shit. Paige's back is on the constant verge of exploding into dust. Nah, no surfing for us, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, for me, I feel like it's because Punch Mom's dad is like super into that like kayaking life and will straight up like pull his truck over if he sees a moat off the highway and just be like, yeah, let's see where this one goes, and just to the point of being in danger, right? Insanity. And it's just, and like, if you're into that life, you take it with you and then you make use of it on all these locations you go to and shit. And I feel like we've just been to so many places where it's like, oh, well, you come out here and then you're supposed to spend a day hiking or something, you know, which we don't really do.
Yeah, we did some light hiking to get to some of the nicer beaches. And it's gorgeous out there. Like a lot of BC, like the motto of BC is just BC is beautiful. And it's like, yeah, the province doesn't want for natural beauty. Pretty much everywhere you can go is just mountains and fucking gorgeous forests and shit.
Yeah, beaver
everywhere.
Postcard.
Yeah, postcard shit everywhere. Last but not least, we ended up like fuck it, like we want to chill out and relax. We got a spa treatment. It's been the first time I've ever gotten a spa treatment. Like, I've had a massage, but I've never gotten a spa treatment.
Ever? Okay.
Dude, I gotta say, there's, like, the pampering and all that, it's fantastic. It's wonderful. I think that's the best night of sleep afterwards I've ever had in my life. I am kind of uncomfortable with somebody washing my feet.
Oh,
like,
you went on that level. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, no, that I haven't
like,
done.
like it's like I am aware that this is like a, you know, a fancy day. This is, you know, be nice. You know, they take care of you, and I'm just like, this is just. I feel kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Not like, ew, gross, this sucks. I'm like, this feels like. I don't know. I don't want to feel like a king of the castle.
So foot washing is something that would happen at church as well. They're a part of the like ceremonies when they do like communion and stuff would be like there'd be a part where it's like you wash each other's feet in the emulation of Christ, and you're supposed to be humbled, and then someone does it for you, and so you're supposed to kind of, you know, take that gesture to be what it is.
Right.
But like, man, like, I think like everyone is well aware that like, okay, today's the foot washing part, so we're gonna like everyone, no one's got their like horrible work socks on. Like everyone's like aware that someone's gonna see their feet that day, and they take care to kind of, you know, make sure it's not that bad for most people. I feel like, but. It still does feel very intimate, and
it's extraordinarily intimate, and I'm like sitting there, and Paige is like lying back, and she's totally comfortable, and I'm just like, do I make small talk? Do I fucking make eye contact? Like, what? This is weird. This is weird. But on the plus side, my shoulder doesn't do that horrible noise when I move it anymore.
There you go.
So fucking thumbs up.
Deep tissue?
Like there's my shoulder sucks so bad. I walk out and I do this and I go, the pop isn't as loud anymore.
What kind of massage you get?
I got we both got like basic Swedish effleurage. Petrissage. Nothing, no hot stone or aromatic, because if you do an aromatic, I'll get horribly sick because of the perfumes they like to use.
Yeah.
But we got like a side-by-side one, so which is totally pointless. by the way. It's the most pointless fucking thing in the entire world. It's
No.
convenient if
Yeah.
you're both going at the same time, but the idea that I even know Paige is 2 feet to my right, like I don't fucking know. I'm in relaxation land.
Exactly. You're supposed to just your brain's shutting down for that hour anyway. So yeah.
My goal is to not fall asleep. Because falling asleep is a waste of cash.
Absolutely. I mean, there's different tips to it. Generally, if you want good pressure, you know, I just tell them go hard because I want like that fucking not wrung out. But like one thing that is the best that some places do, some don't, but like ask for it if you can. Ask for hot towels.
Yeah, no, we got the whole
That
we
is
got
the
drowning
shit.
in hot towels.
Yes, it's unbelievably good.
No,
And
the folks that was doing this, that it was like hot towel for your hands and face on the walk-in, and then they rub your head,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when they move somewhere else, hot towel.
Yeah, there you go.
Do your feet, hot towel.
You're paying for it, so just do it
Just give me the hot towel
everywhere, all the time.
The only problem was they had the fucking massage table itself was also like a big hot towel was heated.
Oh wow, okay.
And I was like, you gotta turn this down a little bit because I'm going to perspirate. Like you have it up too high. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, but no, that's a good night of sleep afterwards.
Yeah, no dog snoring, no cat jumping on top of my head. Just romantic and beautiful and wonderful. And then we came back. Cat had a great time. Genuinely thinks they like the cat sitter more than us kind of situation, like thumbs up. Then we go pick up the dog, and the lady is explaining to me that everybody at the kennel or the boarding place loved him so much because he was boarded with a bunch of huskies. But my dog can't howl.
Yeah. So
the huskies are howling at night, and my dog, who's an English bulldog, is trying to howl, but he's got no like snout at all. So he just started going, like, and they said it was like listening to a dinosaur.
there you go. Yeah.
Just the most pathetic fucking thing. That dog is exhausted. He has slept the entire time. Like we picked him up yesterday afternoon.
Doing his best.
He has barely moved at all. And we're like, oh, what an incredibly restful vacation. Let's go to sleep, honey. Okay, love you. Asleep for 5 minutes. Tap, 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 tap. Blah, blah, blah. Heavy panting. Dog jumps on the bed, steals the covers. Okay, we reorient. Okay, fall asleep. Cat jumps from the floor directly into my face. Jumps from my face into Paige's face. Scratches my head. Wants my attention. Mad that we were gone. I slept so bad last night. I came back from this gorgeous, fancy vacation that I had one of the best times of my life for rest and relaxation. I'm back one day. And it's like I never went. Still totally worth it. And I love those animals so much. But fuck. They're such assholes.
They sensed the peace about you.
Yeah.
Something had to be done.
At 4 days, we had that moment. We're like, 4 days is the right amount. Because on the morning of day 4, we're like, I miss the cat. I miss the dog. It's weird. It's weird not having them around. And having them around is awful, but I miss it. That's been pretty much my whole week. I didn't watch anything. I didn't read anything. I played 10 minutes of a game on Steam this morning, which is called The Last Spell, which seems extraordinary. And I'll have more to talk about it next week. The Last Spell is like an XCOM defense mission built out into... It's an XCOM defense mission / Darkest Dungeon.
Okay.
Built out into a full game with a killer rockin' soundtrack. But as I said, I think the game's gonna be hard because I fucking died during the tutorial, and then it said you should really beat the tutorial before continuing.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, that's okay. I thought this, like, you ever play a tutorial and you're like, wow, this is rough. I guess you're supposed to die, and they're like, no, do it again. You're trash.
Yeah. Nice.
You're fucking trash.
What's
but
it
yeah,
called?
had a
The
great
last
week.
spell.
Yeah, the last spell. The setup is basically the magical equivalent of a nuclear arms race. At which point the solution is to destroy all magic. So you're protecting the magic boys in your village from the hordes of mutants until they can ban magic. And during night you have a little XCOM battle, and during the day you build up your defenses and build up your town and get resources and stuff like that. It's a great little game. At least it seemed like it from the 10 minutes that I played. I also picked up like Backpack Hero and something else that I can't quite remember. What the hell did I just buy? Click on the account, Pat. Account details. Purchase history. I also picked up King of the Castle and Chained Echoes, but I did not even boot them, so I have nothing to say about that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're looking for a wonderful beach town to chill out at and see whales and eat good food, Tofino. It's a fancy place that was really nice, and I'm glad I went.
And Coombs.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if it's county or a country or whatever, but it's COOMBS is all over the fucking way there, and I'm like, it's like I'm in Coomer Town, dude. It's fucking weird. Have I been so internet brain poisoned? And the answer is yes, I have.
I mean, it is the internet's fault that a name can be completely normal for like 300 years and then suddenly in one just become a complete fucking joke.
It means shut-in masturbator. Your town now means shut-in masturbator.
There you go. As opposed,
all of a sudden.
Yeah. Now, don't go visit Goontown down the road.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole other energy.
And I guess the last but not least is like, I mentioned this last week when I talked about hanging out with my neighbors. I ate in restaurants. In the restaurant for the first time. We did once. You remember when we all got vaccinated? Like we finally got the vaccines, and there was that feeling of like, back to normal that lasted like 1 month. Right? We went out and had dinner then, but aside from that, it like hadn't eaten inside a building since January of 2021. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's strange.
I expect between last week and this week, you're going to have these, like, I guess, just slow reacquaintances,
It's weird. It's weird. I see a comment that says, well, if Pat's going out, that means the pandemic is officially over. No, that is not what it means. It means that in BC and Vancouver Island specifically, right now, numbers are as low as they will probably ever get for as long as we live.
Yep. You just staticked a bit, but...
If I'm gonna go somewhere, now is the time, because I don't want to wait to go somewhere when, hey, let's go plan it's back like big again.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I think that would be like silly to say as long as stuff is still kind of happening to some degree. I think, like I mentioned it before, for me, it's something where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to incur some risk. It's just a matter of like how much, how often, and how I'm going to go about it. So I'm willing to go to places, to go to events. I'm willing to do things. I'm thinking about how I used to do like these months in the past where I'd be like, sometimes, I'd be like literally like three places to travel to in 1 month or so. Like I'd be doing a lot more of it. I'm spacing out those things more, but, that's kind of how like we're kind of handling it,
Yeah,
Um,
it's this thing of like the fantasy was like, well, if we ride it out, it'll eventually go. It's not going to go. It's never going to go at this point. It's become
yeah.
endemic. So now it just becomes pick your battles,
Hmm.
shoot your shots.
I don't know if it officially is, but it pretty much is about there,
I
right?
mean, the
So
U.S.
yeah,
government said that the pandemic is over, but
yeah. Well,
like, I'm going to listen to the U.S. government. Ah,
yeah. I know. I think that's it. You just gotta exactly pick your battles, and I mean, again, at the end of the day, like, yeah, to me at least, I'm like, I want to live my life. You know what I mean? Like, there's a level of this where it's like, okay, what am I in for, and how am I gonna approach things? I'm definitely, you know, I don't see the days of like fucking 12 tourney summers, are probably gone. But like, what do I care about? What do I want to go to? I'll
yeah.
go to the
So
things that I care about the most.
So, for example, we went to the Point restaurant in Tofino, which was a fancy, incredibly stellar place, and like Paige really loved their coffee. And it's that kind of fancy restaurant where, oh, I love your coffee. This is incredible. And then somebody just shows up and goes, "This is where we bought the coffee from, and here's a free bag of the coffee for you to take home."
Oh,
Right? Here's the phone number you can call to order that kind of like service, right? No, I did not wear my mask in that incredibly fancy restaurant. But when I went and picked up a monster from the Port Alberni Walmart, you best fucking believe I was wearing my mask in there.
hmm.
Fucking don't stop in Port Alberni. Don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the last place you can get gas for 83 kilometers. Who cares? Don't do it. As for my show, now that I've taken the week off, I'm streaming. Let's see what I'm gonna stream. Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 4. Then Wednesday I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 4. Then Thursday I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 4. Then Friday I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 4. Then Saturday I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 4. And then Sunday I'm also going to stream Resident Evil 4. You could probably guess what days will include which Resident Evil 4. If you want to see Resident Evil 4, you should probably go down to twitch.tv/PatStaresAt, and there will be Resident Evil 4 there. Resident Evil 4. There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And the Thursday one will be at release. So it'll be 9 p.m. Pacific. Well, 8:30 Pacific, so I can say hi to everybody.
Okie doke. All right. So, over on this side, yeah. Okay. What did I get up to? So, for one, I've reached the phase where, when it comes to my diet, I can introduce regular meals again.
Oh, fucking sick. You're off the
So,
liquid bullshit?
so I'm not off completely, but I'm doing basically one meal and then more or less liquid and stuff around it.
How's the
So
piss?
it's still doing its thing. It's still all
Yeah.
right, a little less out of control. But if I'm not doing it often enough, then it means I'm not drinking enough water because got to get that 2 to 3 liters in.
Hydrate, brother.
Mm-hmm. And it is interesting when you're like, okay, I have to pick a small amount of regular meal food to have during the day. It's like, okay, you're gonna think and you're gonna pick very carefully. You're gonna make sure like you want to enjoy that shit. So I'm kind of like prepping in advance for like, okay, what it's gonna be, and yeah, like I mean I came back in after the shakes only thing with I just wanted a steak, just a fucking, like it's not not a full sized. It's got to be like 90 grams, but still just the ability to just get a little bit of that taste and flavor, very just nice to get that again. At the same time, it's interesting because I realized that like the small amount that I had, I was full like almost immediately.
Well, your stomach probably shrank.
So there's been an absolute change in that. Also, like I don't feel like I'm eating because I'm hungry. I feel like I'm eating to replenish my energy. It's full on like a battery feeling. Mm-hmm. It's quite drastic and interesting because like I don't miss the feeling of hunger. Like that's, like that sucked when your stomach is like, yo, fucking now, right? But it means I can just go for a while and then almost like, so when I stand up, I'll be like, oh, whoa, hey, I'm way more lightheaded than I thought. That means I need to go get something in me. But it's just fuel at this point. It's kind of
that sounds really
eating for
nice.
fuel.
Because like my experience with hunger is so toxic and fucking stupid, where I'll go like 2 days and be like, I'm not hungry at all. And then like the clock will tick over 1 second and be like, I will literally die if I do not eat 10 pounds of food.
Right. So that's changing now. It's really just like, yeah, you're gonna fall. It's almost like you gotta eat, otherwise you're gonna need a nap. That's kind of how the day's been going.
Let me ask you, do you nap now?
Not really. I don't really like if it's a particularly like long day or so, then sometimes I will. Like oftentimes, like for example, after a podcast, we go for a while. I'm gonna go nap and then
Like,
get back up to edit it that night because I have like
nice,
more work
right?
ahead of me. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice.
It's like maybe once a week, I'm just like, fuck it. To go take a little sleepy for an hour or two. And like, I used to make fun of my mom like viciously. My mom used to take naps all the time. And I'm like, Mom, you're so old. Hi, you're taking a nap. Ah, you're tired. Ah, boo. Ah, you're old. And now I'm like getting to be the age that she was when I made fun of her. And I'm like, oh, shit.
If I nap,
really
though,
go for a nap right now.
If I do nap, like, and I get a decent one in, I'm up till 4 a.m. No question. Like,
well, it's tricky, right? If I sleep for anything longer than 90 minutes, then yeah, no, I've completely fucked my bullshit. So 1 hour. I set like an alarm for 90 minutes because it takes me like 20 minutes to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want to have, those if I can avoid it. And at the same time too, like with this type of diet, your body's going to tell you when it's time to go to bed real loud and clear. You're like, well, I'm out of things. I've hit my limit for the day, and water is no longer working because water can prolong that tiredness for a little bit, but it starts fading off. And if you gulp, and you sit there and you're like, nope, still feeling it, it's like, all right, time to shut it down. It's a battery based day. I'm switching to a different like ism. It's quite interesting.
It's wild because like later this week I'm gonna stream RE4 when it comes out. So luckily I'm Pacific now. So Pacific means I'm gonna start streaming RE4 at 9 p.m., which is like, that's not bad, right? Except I'm looking at 9 p.m. going, oh man, that's pretty late. Oh, that's pretty, because I'm usually asleep by 11. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Oh darn. Like I've suddenly, man, moving out to the West Coast hey, you can't fix your sleep schedule? Just keep moving west until it works.
Chase the sun.
Yeah, just keep moving over until it's fixed.
That's it. Nice. Easter Island.
Maybe that plants you right in the middle of the ocean, but like, I mean,
yeah.
What are you going to do?
So, there's that. Speaking of events and things, Muse came to town. So,
did they?
I went to go check them out, and that was the second best concert I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, fantastic. Good for you, man.
With the first being when they came, like, in 2008 or so.
I see.
So, fucking, that was cool. And it's something too where like I've been telling like folks, and I remember I was telling Punch Mom and Reggie and all of everyone for a long time now that it's like, hey, like that's the best show I've ever fucking seen. And so when it came around this time, I'm like, okay, hopefully that energy is still about them and that's there. And it started with a normal show with them on the stage, and then I was like, oh no, I hope I didn't overhype it. I tried not to. I just kind of, it was really cool when I saw it at the time, and then it slowly turned into things descending and flames, just the whole 9 yards. They went at like lasers and lights and sounds and sculptures and giant. It was unbelievable, and of course the music is incredible. So that was all great. Still putting 110% into everything, and they leave it all on the court, as they say. At the end of the day, it definitely was kind of funny. Where like you're there, and it's like, okay, so I haven't gone through this new album really. I'm you know, down for all the old hits. Let's see what these new songs are about.
Oh no.
And I talked about it before. There's the main song "Compliance." Where they're talking about.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And I didn't start going through the lyrics of like the new album until like right before the show, and I'm looking at it, and like, there's definitely some shit where they're like, open up your heart, break down, like let down these walls, let down that mask. And you're just like, oh.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So that's where they're going. And like I said, it's always been anti-authoritarian. It's always been anti-government. It's always been like the resistance, fuck the man. But it just gets that extra little flavor in the current context.
There's something wild about listening to you describe this, and then I have Twitter open in another tab and like see live reactions from our mutuals to what you are saying right now.
Oh, okay.
I just said to you as an example.
Yeah. So, that is definitely just like it. Like I said,
vaccine will implant a microchip in your brain.
Like I said, it feels as if the analogy is, remember like Star-Lord being that impulsive, like takes no shit. Fuck you, Kurt Russell. Fuck you, like whoever, bad guy. Rah, and then you're watching Endgame and you're like, oh no, it's that it's that same impulsiveness. Oh no. Yeah. So, that's not like this. That's the will of the people, as the name of the album. But I mean, fuck, man. It was still just an incredible show regardless. And, I was definitely happy that there were, a decent amount of people that did not take the advice to let down the walls and take down the mask, so to speak. There are still some people that are like, yeah, no, like, I'm going to still enjoy this and keep that on, thanks. But it was cool. And it's one of those bits too where I'm like, for a fucking band that I love this much, I really like, I've only seen them twice ever. So I'm happy that I got that opportunity. I don't know that the opportunity ever. It feels like once a decade is essentially how often I get to enjoy that. So
you got to remember who you're talking to right now, though, right? Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, what bands do I really like? Well, I'm not that big into music. It'd be nice to see a Linkin Park or Daft Punk concert. Oh, well, never.
Catch this. Though.
Never mind that.
Catch this, though. The opening act was a little indie band that's making their way up in the rankings called Evanescence.
Shut up. Shut up, really?
Amy Lee herself came out and Evanescence opened for them. It was crazy.
That's fucking weird.
I had no idea that was happening, because a friend of mine just got the tickets, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's just be here at this time and enjoy it. And believe it or fucking not, they're still doing it. Big E logo, the rapping dude is not there. The Mike Shinoda of the band, of course. So The whole time I'm just like, yep, we're hitting those numbers, but we know where this is going. But she made, you're gonna sing My Immortal. You're gonna hit all the expected notes. I was surprised.
I don't care how cringe it is. Evanescence is pretty good.
When Paper Flowers came on and I'm singing it and I'm looking around, I'm like, no one else remembers fucking Paper Flowers.
Man, I still remember talking to you about Evanescence in 2004. And I was like, you heard this band Evanescence? And you were like, I'm like, man, the girl's voice is crazy. And you said, yeah, imagine if she sang about anything that mattered.
I think because I don't know, I don't know if it happened. They played it in the club spaces, right? Back in college. That's where I first discovered them. Yeah. And straight up, that was it. I was like, wow, listen to that. Dear God, these lyrics are nothing. But listen to them go.
If you like showed somebody an Evanescence album right now that doesn't know anything about them and ask them, is this a parody band of the 2000s or is this a real band? Impossible to determine.
I mean, the music was too catchy at the time for it to be like on that parody level. But then again, fucking
parody can be really good.
But then again, Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
So who the fuck knows? But regardless, I was definitely like, yo, what the fuck, Reggie? How do you not know your Paper Flowers? But
you can't ask a human that kind of question.
But when the time came, even though the dude is not there anymore, you gotta close on Bring Me to Life.
You have to.
And you have to.
The rules.
And then they did it. And then, we filled in, we yelled out, and yeah, it was just like,
and as you're singing it, you're seeing Vegeta fighting Ben Affleck Daredevil in your mind.
I'm thinking of no, there wasn't even the Vegeta. It was Ben Affleck and what's her name? Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Right? And then on the rooftops, and then all this time, I can't believe I couldn't see, trapped in the dark, and then holding on to the edge of the building and reaching out, that whole, like, right back to that era. And it's weird because, like, again, it was right in 2003-ish, again, that Club Spaces college era, so we were already just a little too old.
Yeah.
For Punch Mom, it was peak emo high school, middle of your fucking, like, you just got out the other end of puberty and, like, you're starting to figure out what's going on, and she was watching it just kind of devour everyone around, and she dodged it completely. Like, she's like, no,
really?
never got it to Evanescence. She somehow completely dodged it, and I'm like, that's crazy.
That's I remember when I met her, like when you first started dating, my brain was like, this girl looks like she listens to Evanescence.
You would think. And, like, based on, like, some of the, like, the old high school emo drawings of the time and little Hot Topic sketches, you would really think, but somehow she managed to avoid it. I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah, her music tastes.
Again, we're talking about a woman who doesn't know who Michael Jordan is. Is that how that went?
That was that one, and also rejects the concept of 80s music as a whole. So we have issues that we need to work through.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Punch Mom's view of the musical genre. Congrats, Wooly! You found someone crazier than me to talk to music about.
Tune in to go check out Wooly versus the Algorithm, The Trial of Punch Mom, for more information on that. So, but in any case, yeah, that was a wild ass surprise. I did not think I was in for a fucking Evanescence night. And yeah,
that's just a free extra, like, value add.
And, kudos to Amy Lee, still doing it. She was wearing something that I could only describe as a Sephiroth outfit.
Great.
Leather,
Perfect.
shoulder pad, straps, yada yada.
Health bar just out of view.
Just out of view. And I don't know if the other band was the same or not. I don't know that anyone would be able to tell. Like, because Unfortunately, they're one of those bands that could have replaced everybody and just kept her over the years, and I couldn't tell you.
Don't know anyone in fucking Evanescence other than Amy Lee.
So there's that. Yeah. It's been a solid 20 years. I'm going to assume they're not all the same people at this point.
It's like the opposite of Hootie and the Blowfish, in which I didn't understand for most of that band's life cycle that Hootie was a different person that had teamed up with a band called the Blowfish.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I imagine that, like, when we fast forward another 20 and we're seeing the, like, retirement tour or whatever, like, it might very well just be a case of, like, it's really just Amy Lee is Evanescence, and anyone else that's attached is your Evanescence now.
I'm sorry, Amy Lee adjacent Evanescence members. I would never know your face, name, voice, or talent in any way. You might as well be a drum machine.
Yeah. And that was good. That was good. There was also they were opened up by One OK Rock is the name of the group from Japan. Seemed to be doing some catchy music that may or may not wind up on an OP one day.
Yeah.
It had that energy to it. I was like, oh yeah, I could see some credits dropping over this.
Concert you saw had that energy to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evanescence just did an OP to the anime that is the Daredevil film.
This is true. Oh, they sang the Ishin opening?
Serious?
Oh yeah?
Fuck it.
Oh, cool. Right. Okay, yeah, they were good.
You nailed it.
I didn't know them going in, but they were pretty cool. They were good. Sonic Frontiers as well. Oh, wow.
Okay,
They did a ton of anime OPs. All right, well, that's the energy I felt from those tracks. Like, I definitely...
The energy was correct.
Yeah, and then when it cuts to the instrumental part, Kono Bangumi wa kono spansa o tenkyo de okurishimasu, you know? Like, you felt that shit happening. That's
so you basically went to anime music videos live.
If only Blink 182 was also there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that was fun. Good times with that lineup. Yeah. What else happened later on Saturday, which coincidentally was Nago Ryuki's birthday.
Oh, seriously? Oh, that's great.
Interestingly. Yeah, we did a Get Into Fighting Games with Test Your Luck, as mentioned, one of the best Strive players out there right now, and Nago Ryuki expert, top player, came through, sat down, showed us the ropes, and we had to like dust off the cobwebs a bit. And the analogy I've been kind of describing has been like, yeah, coming back to a fighting game, especially after you've played it some time ago, but you're still trying to blow the cobwebs off, and it's like, don't try to compare yourself to anything but your own Mario Kart Ghost, right?
Got it.
Your own Mario Kart Ghost of your how good you used to be is the limit of what you should be thinking about.
So he's that much better, huh?
I mean, we did our first to 10s, and both Reggie and I, in our first to 10s, we went 10-1. Right?
You got one, though.
We got one, though.
You got one.
Yeah. I mean, no, like, dude, like, I think he placed like 17th last Evo and is undefeated in Montreal. Literally every tournament that's ever happened in this city, he's won outright that he's entered. So, like, I mean.
Yeah, but it wasn't free, though. It wasn't completely free.
And yeah, no, like it was a Nago school session. It was a lot of fun. Lots of notes, lots of leveling up, lots of things to see. And then the fun part too was jumping online. And whenever we go play some of these regular games and get into fighting games, we have a couple of regulars that swing by, and we got to basically just have him run the gauntlet against a bunch of people, and they got to feel what this character is supposed to fucking feel like, So yeah, shout outs Test Your Luck. Really cool guy. And we, every once in a while we have, well, we always have our for fun episodes, but for glory doesn't happen as often. But when it does, like you might learn something,
Mhm.
And Strive is it's nice to hear that, like, at high level as well, like when it comes to just like the peak of how people are playing this game, there's still a decent amount of like character variety, like it's not all just one across the board. You're not like, I was kind of worried we'd see all Happy Chaos when fucking Gunman came out, and Happy Chaos is annoying as hell and is a problem, but definitely did not become the only result, whereas, for example, there was that Sam Show Evo where it was just like fucking Genjiro's in 7 out of 8 spots or whatever, madness.
Yeah.
In that. So you always want to see character variety as a nice representation that, like, oh, the balance is still pretty healthy.
Yeah, perfect balance is fucking stupid, but you don't want, fucking Bayo in every top 8 or Joker in every top 8 when that was happening.
Or the feeling that if you're not switching to this character, you're missing out / you're stupid to not just switch, especially like for a payout or whatever. Yeah, the term is
Kelly's ghost floating behind you.
So the term is compressed tiers, right? And I like that because what it kind of means is like, if you think of that full tier list of S all the way down to like E or F rated characters, like everyone is gonna be landing in that A+ to B range, Like no one is so far below anyone else that they're like 3 tier lists away from them. So that's kind of a nice to see as well. Yeah, looking forward to the future of Guilty Gear. Mass Effect 3 continues, and I guess all I have to say at this point is that I'm happy we finally got to the point where fucking Legion is around. We're getting to the Geth side of
Okay, so you're at
things.
the best part of Mass Effect 3 then.
I've been fucking waiting for the Geth. I've been waiting to find out what's been happening with them, and we're finally getting those answers. And it's satisfying because it's still like, so it's satisfying because it's still like the most interesting part, but there definitely is, this thing where I have to kind of accept that I'm like, the promise of how good Sovereign was and won in that conversation is not happening, right?
It's not. No, it's not.
That's not happening, right? The Reapers
you deal with them too much.
So sorry, that part's, and I'm like, fuck, I was so hype on that. Okay, so what do we have, right? And you've got just this ever-present problem, and like it won't deliver on that. So what else is cool? Everything to do with the Krogans and the Genophage is cool, and obviously the Morden story, and then conversely, everything to do with the Geth and the Quarians and that whole bit is super fascinating.
Oh, dude,
as
it's
well.
awesome. Like
And
all the complaints about Mass Effect 3, of which there are many, none of them are about the Geth Quarian conflict and Tuchanka.
yeah,
Fucking
so
A+ shit all the way down.
So it's nice that like the A storyline is kind of letting me down because of that. It's still okay. It's still going, but I was hoping for more in that regard. But where that kind of didn't live up to it, these B storylines are,
Yeah, Mass Effect is a series defined by its B storylines.
It's interesting. And then of course now there's also this bit where like I think too that like when something kind of talks up, I'm always like inclined to like imagine I'm always inclined to imagine like races that like defy my understanding in a lot of ways, right? I'm a big fan of that in fiction, so I get really hyped when someone kind of starts to go in that direction. And so obviously that's kind of where my Reaper feeling is, and I've already a lot of people. I already know people are giving me shit over my own expectations or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, fine. If that's not where you are, that's okay.
The game set those expectations up.
I know. I just anyway, like I feel like so with the Geth now, a little bit of that happened again, because the description that you have of the Geth when you meet Legion is really cool, because he's like, hey, those crazy ones you've been fighting are just the psychos we don't deal with. They're the heretics,
they're
right?
Evangelists.
And you haven't met me, you haven't met us. Us normal Geth are actually just chilling in the cut, right? We're
rebuilding the planet.
We're back in the Attican Traverse with our numbers in, our programs in the trillions, platforms in the billions, and like we are out here basically like they could have outnumbered the creators at any time if they wanted to, right? Yeah. So there was that idea was kind of planted that it's like, oh, the Geth were just like peacefully staying out of this while the heretics were going crazy, and the Geth are kind of just watching what's happening. But anytime they wanted to, they could have done something, but they're, and then you get to kind of find out more. So that the last idea we had was that like, oh yeah, the biggest like race, like the biggest faction, the most powerful faction is actually the Geth who don't want to fight, who are just hanging out, right?
Yeah.
And the Quarians are obviously struggling on their flotilla and trying to piece together what's left of their group, and they're hanging out, but they're doing it. And then in 3 now, the whole situation changes because the introduction of new technology means that the Geth are put with their back against the wall, and they have to, take a deal, so to speak, with the old machines in order to fight back against this stupid Quarian push. And it's like, okay, that I get how we get to that place from a strictly the tech has changed kind of point of view. The overall feeling that they were just like this step above everyone else in the galaxy, like I was hoping that would kind of play into how this battle against, we haven't seen the whole thing yet, right, play out. Mm-hmm. But I guess it felt like, oh, the Quarians that are struggling and kind of trying to have this dumb holy war are actually fighting back this kind of super hyped up background force now. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a bummer, I guess. But I do understand. The reasons make total sense. But I guess the feeling was not like what I expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that apparently that the writer for the Geth in 2 planned for them to be this actual insane top level fucking faction that was like flinging black holes around and like had a whole other level of space travel tech beyond everyone else.
Yeah, there's a lot that was clearly planned and then left on the floor.
And then so they kind of went with this instead, and like that was a whole other thing. Now the power levels would have been definitely a problem to deal with when we had to introduce them into the situation in 3. So I get that didn't happen, but I know that I'm like, okay, if that's the feeling they were gonna go for, they gave that feeling off of that Legion conversation in 2, like. Yeah. The feeling Legion gave off in 2 is like, oh yeah, hey man, we don't want to, but if we wanted to,
I love the conflict between the Geth and the Quarian Mass Effect. I think it's my favorite part of the entire fiction from like a writing perspective, because it's like, hey man, the Quarians have the coolest design of any alien race in the entire
Quarians, you said? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. The Quarians have the coolest fictional design of any of the races you deal with in the fiction. They all have like they like it's a race that has hidden top class voice actors for all of its characters. Like the guy who played Kain in Legacy of Kain is one of the admirals. There's a I believe she's a Greek lady that's a famous actress that I can't remember her name. But those two are always arguing that A+ voice acting from all of them.
Oh yeah, incredible.
And they're cool. Their ship is cool. Their fucking society is cool. The one that wants to be your girlfriend is the best one, and every single fucking thing out of their mouth is the dumbest fucking thing you've ever heard. Every single fucking time they open their mouth, it's the worst thing in the series.
So they've been the wrongest, right, ever of everybody so far. And it was kind of amazing how we're operating in a world where you guys are dumb and wrong and you're making the situation worse because you can't fucking look at the bigger picture for 2 seconds. And then you go back and you start looking through the memories and you're like,
oh, they're even wronger than I
thought. They're even wronger than before.
Oh, just a quick correction. The actress I'm describing, apparently her name is Shohreh Aghdashloo, and she's Egyptian.
Okay, awesome. I cannot believe...
You go through the voice, the fucking video logs, and you're like, they're even fucking stupider than I thought.
They're 4 times wronger than ever. Somehow... it was even worse, you know? Like, the little bit of benefit of the doubt that you give them is that they're stupid and wrong, but they're acting based on fear, right? Yeah. They're having these reactions of like, we're afraid of what happens if this gets out of control. We're afraid of what happens if we acknowledge the Geth, and any of that. And like, everything is a panic-based, right? So you kind of
your complaint, right? Your complaint is like, oh, it's their. Oh, sorry. Now I'm being informed she's Iranian. I don't know this actress. Look her up. I don't know.
Okay.
But your issue of like, oh, now the Reapers are hitting them with their Reaper juice to make them stronger and evil, and it's like that is kind of a disappointment because you have to shoot a bunch of them. But they're only like that because the Quarians attacked them for no reason.
Now's the time, guys. Now we gotta go take back the motherland.
There's a galactic threat from a genocidal group of different robots that are attacking us, and you thought today was the good day to start your totally separate war that everyone knows you're going to lose.
And then you land, and it's fucking Arizona. And you're like,
yeah,
this is what it is? We're fighting over the fucking desert, Nevada, you know? Like, so... It's wild, but you get to go back in time and see them be extra wrong. And the thing of like, you're dumb and stupid, but you're acting out of fear is like, I can like pity you in a way. Like you're just panicking and running in circles, like, you know what I mean? But when you go back and you're like, oh no, actually, here's the part where the fellow Quarians were standing up for the robots and saying, guys, stop it. And then you were like, let's kill our fellow Quarians and shove them in the mass grave too. And you're like, oh my God, you're completely insane.
That was the turning point for me. That was the part like, the robot, and everyone was afraid of the robot uprising. And then you find out like, oh no, wait, the Quarians that are running their government also genocided the Quarians that didn't want to kill the robots.
Right? So you have to take that, and this is the Mass Effect, like the clarifying point of like, you have the moral dilemma, and then you can walk that thread until it becomes like literal, until it's just split into a very clear dual path, right? It always does this. And here you go, well, let's say this group refused to ever acknowledge robots as properly living sentient creatures.
Sure.
In order to enact your hatred of them and disgust, you have to now murder your peers, who, no matter what you think, are your peers. And now, is it worth it to carry out this bloodshed, you know, or fucking fuel shed, while stepping over the bodies of your fellow Quarian? And they're like, yes, it's
They
super
always
worth
painted it. They always painted it like a existential threat, right? But it was actually like a secular argument that like ended up escalating to like civil war plus robots.
Right. Yeah, and like the numbers were never like in the majority, but it was still enough that it's like, oh, they're now just cleansing out the ghettos, so to speak, you know? And like the robots are standing behind while a Quarian is getting shot standing in between them, you know? And you're like, you're so much wronger.
Because you're like, wow, I really like you guys. But you're wrong. Every time you say anything, you're wrong.
Yeah.
What you're doing is wrong. Why you're doing it is wrong.
So,
every side quest that I ever did with you guys, you were wrong.
So
except for Cal Rieger.
And Queequeg, or not Queequeg,
Quib.
And so you're just kind of operating on this thing of like, man, I guess, Tally, you're in charge now, and you're the one I know, so you should be the fucking leader of your people, I hope, but...
Because I can influence you with my cock.
But holy shit, your people suck. Every time. Every time forever. Yeah, it's quite wild to go back in time and make a wrong extra fucking wrong. But that part was still pretty interesting. And then it also was quite clarifying too. It was not clarifying. I was almost like, I don't know, I didn't expect anything, but we got out of that, and then you have one of the few like Javik interactions that pops up where Javik is just arguing over AI, right? And he's just like, yeah, robots suck, can't be trusted. And he just provides no arguments whatsoever. It's just like, they suck, they were bad in my time, and they're not real, and this is blasphemy. And then he would just move the goalposts every time a counterpoint was raised.
Funny.
And it's just grandpa arguments, and you're like, oh, the philosopher warrior is actually just really like, he's just the warrior. There's no philosopher there.
I think it's really smart. I think everything they did with Javik is really smart because, like, dude, you were talking about Sovereign and like what you thought Sovereign was going to be, right? And how it could never live up to it. And like, same thing with the Protheans, right? Like, oh man, they were so advanced. And it's like, Javik is both out of universe and in universe a fucking disappointment. Like, he is like all the parts where Liara's like, oh, what can you tell me? Nothing. I have nothing for you.
Out of universe, I like the idea of don't meet your heroes a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's great, right? The mystical ingenious race of benevolent soldiers that fought against, you know, the last remaining threat, heroic to the end, yada yada.
Yeah, and so who do you get to talk to? You get to talk to the Prothean equivalent of James Trapezius Dinosaur Vega.
Sure. Yes, exactly. Who's just going, hey,
like the dumbest meathead in their entire fucking society is the one you get to talk to.
At the end of the fucking war, born into it, might makes right, and literally, why does the larger not simply eat the other friends? Like straight up, like, I don't understand what the problem is. Insubordination, out the airlock. Why are we having this conversation?
Dude, it rules. It fucking rules. It rules that he sucks. Like, somebody said, no, Javik is base. Like, yeah, no, the fact that Javik sucks is the best way it could have gone.
You know, nothing special about the Protheans here at all. If they were different at the beginning of the war, whatever we got here is just like dumb fucking throw all our strength at it. That's all that matters. Warrior pride, you know? So yeah, he's having an argument with, you know, what to him is a goldfish, but the goldfish is like lapping him rhetorically. Yeah. And he's just like, no, but they can never be, like, they will never evolve. And they're like, yeah, but we upgrade and we like regulate, and that's how they actually do change with time.
Edie in this instance?
He's arguing with Edie,
Yeah.
and like he's just like, oh no, it is all he's got, and it's one of those looping arguments. But I'm like, man, Javik, you fucking idiot, Grandpa, go to bed. You know, like it was so he had so much nothing to say at the end of that. You know, so I'm just kind of like, okay, this is how it's being played out, and it's good, but simultaneously just like, God, I thought you might have something deep down inside, you know? Like that fucking line, stand in the dust of a trillion dead races and ask their ghosts if honor means anything. You like that, you say that because you fucking have you've got a dissertation behind that thought. You know?
Yeah, no, actually, he's been workshopping that in the pod for 10,000 years.
You want to think he's been meditating and then comes out and he's got that fucking banger of a line. And it's like, well, that was all he had. And then there was no follow-up, actually. But yeah, so...
Like he'll look at the Quarians and be like, oh, or the Asari, like, you used to be...
we're not there yet.
What are you talking? No, I mean, like, you talk to him at some point about the crew.
Oh, okay.
And at some point he describes, like, oh, I think it was the Hanar. He's like, we used to eat the Hanar or something like that.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, there's been
right?
like there's been 5 versions of that. Yes,
right.
Yes,
like they let you guys into space, huh? Like, kind of thing. And then the response is always like, yeah, but we have a society now and we have all this stuff. And he just goes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. You used to eat flies to the Solarians, you know.
It's like you just wanted to be an asshole. You had no follow-up to anything anyone was going to say to you.
I remember when you were a fucking ugly creature at the zoo. Okay.
Well, I'm not now, dipshit. Now you're the kid in the zoo.
Okay. Can you help me with some cover fire or no? Like, what are we doing here? You know? Yeah. Anyway, good times to that. So yeah, that's continuing, of course, and
oh yeah. So just a quick question for you. Tally and Legion are alive, right?
Yes.
So I don't know how to feel about this because you're not going to encounter it because you had almost everybody around when you did it, right? Tuchanka and Reddick are really reactive to what characters you have and what decisions you had, right? Reddick is like you need to have a lot of stuff around and done well to have like any of the good outcomes. And like people who like, you remember you can start Mass Effect 3 at the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those people can't get any good outcomes for Reddick.
Oh,
like
that whole chapter is a wash.
Like, yeah, like you do all of it and it's cool. But like it's this weird thing of like, yeah, is Tally dead? Is Rex dead? You know, is Legion not like you? Yeah, it's gonna be a ruinous fucking mess no matter what you do.
Okay.
Like regardless of your choices in 3, and I feel like that's too far. I feel like that's like too far.
Yeah. I mean, the marketing department is always gonna find a way to try to tell you, hey, we buy this one even if you didn't the others. Shut up, give us your money. But I do kind of wonder, like, yeah, like is the right thing to just give you more on-off switches before you load your character up, you know?
So I don't know. I've talked about this a lot with a lot of people, and my takeaway at the end of it, after playing all of the games that I can think of that were popular at that time of like multi-sequel reactivity, is that you shouldn't do multi-sequel reactivity. You shouldn't. Because all it kind of feels like is, well, I got to start the next game with the good save file. And like it doesn't really feel like you appreciate, like, oh, I got the good thing because I did this.
Here,
it feels 100 times worse that, oh, I got the bad thing because I didn't do this.
I'll challenge that. I'll say that the scale of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 are unbelievably massive with the, like, if consequences actually have outcomes, the domino effect from 1 can go a lot of ways over the course of 3 giant full RPGs. In the case where you're playing something like Walking Dead Season 1, from episode to episode, act to act, that's a smaller, more direct scale where your choices can have an effect on things that plays out in a way where the consequences come true within a short period of time, and they can be wildly variable.
Yeah,
but
so
overall, the package is tighter.
I think you're completely right about Walking Dead as a good example. But the one that I always think of is like, hey, oh man, Rex is like the standout favorite character from Mass Effect 1. Almost, even if he's not your favorite, everybody loves Rex. He's the cool turtle man, right? And guess what? You can almost never hang out with him ever again over 3 games because you could have killed him.
And guess what? The data says that 75% of players did. Yeah, because Rex was
fucking stupid.
Dead in the old game save files for 75% of fucking players. So most people didn't have him anyway.
Yeah, like it's like whenever like Witcher does this, but Witcher's shit is very self-contained, right? But it's like making a decision as to whether or not to kill a character. The fact that that decision exists means they're gonna have to kind of leave soon because they can't. Witcher 2 is the only game I could think of in which like the last 40% of the game is completely different. Completely. It's fucking crazy. It's the only one I can ever think of. They actually made a full like extra half game for either path. And then you get to Witcher 3 and they go, you know what? Oh, that was hard. Let's relegate every character you ever met in the first 2 games to single line of dialogue or maybe a 5-minute cameo at most. Because fuck doing a like more than one quest with Letho. Letho could be dead. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay. Sorry, I got that statistic incorrect. 64% of players did not have Rex in Mass Effect 3. That's the number. Versus the Legendary Edition, where 94% of people had him survive.
So like Citadel, when you get there, is like the fantasy of what Mass Effect could do, because they actually said, no, fuck it, we're gonna accommodate for every possible permutation of event and character.
Yeah, right? That sounds
because
really cool.
Because it's a DLC and because it's like compact, they get to go, no, fuck it, we'll just everything possible. Because we don't have to worry about the knock-on effects of afterwards.
With The Witcher and the way they handled it, the relationship choices are the big ones. Is there anything else that is that scale? No,
the way The Witcher does it is super smart. It really is. So Witcher 1 takes place in one city primarily, right? And you run into Zoltan, your dwarf friend. You run into Dandelion, your bard friend. You make out with this redhead or this redhead, right? But the nature of the events are very contained to one city, right? Witcher 2 takes place over half of a country, but not that city. So characters that did die or leave or whatever, they change one line of dialogue. And they go, so like you could save the princess or not, and you get one line of dialogue change, and it's like, oh yeah, no, she's married to so-and-so.
But that's all happening over there.
Right. And then Witcher 3 takes place over multiple countries, but none of the locations you were before. So if you run into somebody, it's like, oh cool, you're here for one cutscene, and then you'll leave. You know, and the time that takes place over the things, all those relationships are going to kind of reset back to their defaults which are the more or less relationships they've established. So no matter what happens in Witcher 1, you start Witcher 2 in making out with Triss.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
You start Witcher 3, oh, you guys have been separated for a year because you're looking for your kid, so you haven't been hanging out together. And, so it's, no matter what happened, they kind of, they basically minimize all of your choices by having them take place very far away from you.
But there's a canon that can still exist across all of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's not that it shouldn't be done. It's just you've got to be very careful about that shit. You got to do it
really limiting.
Yeah. And you don't want the main thing is you don't want the worst version of events to be a not just like a sad experience, because obviously that can happen and should. You don't want it to be a less satisfying game than the most. Like. The absence of content from a character being dead, like if you can write the story in a way that like the absence of that character is its own kind of compelling bit,
like if Morden's dead, you're hanging out with Borden,
right,
the
other one,
Solarian scientist.
Yeah. And there's ways around that, certainly. It doesn't just have to feel like you took a chapter of the story out of the book and then ripped its pages.
Yeah, there's a much longer conversation to be had about this, specifically with Mass Effect, because those games were described as diamonds in development, which makes sense, right? Because it's opening up, and then you hit the middle of the game, in which it's the maximum width, but then it has to kind of close up by the end. And the series itself is a big diamond in that the most width is in Mass Effect 2. Because it's not actually very critical to the plot, and then it has to close up for 3. The big problem is that when you get to the back 20% of 3, that it's not a diamond. It closes up into like a clap.
Yeah.
And that's where they maybe should have just told one story and had the choices in that narrative.
I mean, I'm simultaneously respecting the attempt as we play while criticizing but they could have zigged when they zagged, is how it feels. It's like, it took a lot of work to set this up, and then you just picked this weird choice here when you didn't have to do that.
It's also weird because they did this. So they tried something somewhat similar for Dragon Age. And for Dragon Age Inquisition, there was this massive website you could go to tick off the hundreds of choices you had made if you didn't have a save to import. But those results were minuscule because again they took the idea of these are taking place in a different location. You're not in the same part of the country that the other stuff. You're not going to go to the same town and deal with the same people and have to deal with all the stupid shit you did.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when we get there. So yeah, that's going to continue, and as previously announced, we're going to be cracking open FF9. So
that's a good one.
That'll start this week. Should be some fun. Looking forward to it. I like the cut of Vivi's jib. I'm looking forward to finding out more.
You've never played FF9, huh?
Never played FF9. Just seen the characters in the cutscenes, and I saw that big-jawed knight guy, and I saw a cat dude, and I saw Vivi, and I was like, "Yo, you're a black mage from fucking. That's cool. That's but also mixed with Okro from He-Man. Am I thinking of?
Thinking of Orko.
Yeah. Orko from He-Man. Yeah. I'm like, what if you just smush them together? I'm like, that's cool. I like that. So, and then a little Son Goku kid running around. So we'll see.
He's not Goku. He's supposed to be a cat.
Oh, and also it's Garnet, who is
attempt number 3 at the same brunette.
It's brunette, long hair, girls. Gonna be nice, I guess.
Well, So you haven't
Yeah.
you weren't like following every FF as it came out, or like I was, right?
Oh,
And
I was
one
I was following the announcements and
no,
the.
I mean like the dev and
Oh,
being
no,
madly in love
yeah,
with
yeah.
those games. And like the funniest thing ever is like Nomura has a type,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
The type is
Uh,
a brunette with long black
yep,
hair.
yep, yep,
The
yep.
funniest thing is that Amano also has a type, and that's a blonde with long blonde hair. And you'll go and look at like concept art, and you'll see the concept art is a blonde, and then in the game, brunette. Concept art, blonde. In the game, brunette. Like
Okay.
over and
Did
over and over.
I'm trying to did Amano get to like a second design somewhere? Because I'm like, there's Quistis, but like she's not long blonde hair. She's just blonde. Huh.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So brunette just
Like
won out every time.
yeah, and so like you look at 6, and it's like, oh cool, we have 2 main characters who are women, and they're both blondes. Except in the game to make Terra look
Green.
a little different, they make her green.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, I that's always been a like a joke, like a funny thing to me. Like 7, 8, and 9, and it's like, all right, we take 3, but I'm sure personality wise all distinct,
Oh yeah, they're all
but
completely
just
different.
yeah, that look though. Anyway, that's soon. um yeah, so tune into Wooly versus this week. And then, of course, Wooly versus the algorithm. Shorts dropping your way. The latest Wooly versus whatever. We're trying to figure out how to deal with the fucking new swearing guidelines. It's tricky because YouTube is going back on things and lightening up on things, and we don't know what the deal is because moment to moment it's changing. But we're gonna have that up as soon as we can get a version of it that doesn't get fucking flagged for bullshit.
Oh, you
Latest
know what?
clip though, Reggie about to risk it all. Uh, good times on that as the tag list on his search continues to grow. Yeah, that can't spell A without AY, which is R.Yakshi. So good times.
Hey, by the way, to finish this off, hey, did you know that Nomura designed a character for Final Fantasy 14 raid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Her name's Gaia. She looks like this.
Not a brunette. Not a brunette.
Yeah. Oh no, it's her hair's so dark it's blue. That's different.
It's actually interesting though because like she's so pale that she looks like a Kaneko character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
Like that.
I think
and
the funniest part about that character is that her weapon is a hammer, and then he made the design and submitted it, and they're like, "There's no hammers in this game, dude."
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Uh,
Is did Amano get to drop some shit in there?
Amano designed the original collector's edition box, which that design later got turned into a boss.
Okay.
And they are blonde. In fact, they are platinum blonde. Both of those characters.
Min also showed me the God, what was it? They redid the I think we already talked about this, but the FF6 goddess who
Sophia.
she got a name later, I guess.
Yeah, so they had a name originally, but you never actually encountered it in 6. So it was Zervan, Sephiroth, and Sophia.
Of the Warring Triad, yeah.
Yeah.
And the retake on that was really like nice, like very just beautiful. That shit's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Sophia's a great design. So her fight is
Not so much.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's you're fucking playing teeter-totter during the fight.
Oh, weight balance.
Yeah, she says she'll tip the scales, and then on one side you get, let's say, 3 rocks falling, and then on the other side you have 2, and you have to figure out which way the stage is going to tip, and it'll fucking throw you off the edge if you guessed wrong.
I mean, there's that in Bayo 3. There's a Darkest Dungeon equivalent of that too, I think. Like, I'm not so I don't think I've ever really enjoyed teeter-totter mechanics, but I get it. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, that's going on. Also, just a little side note. I was gonna I didn't get a chance to, but I'm gonna run back through Hi-Fi and listen to the licensed music and stuff. But there was an interview with JoJo, Jonathan Janus, about the creation of that game, or I think he appeared on like a podcast as well and was talking about some of how it went down, and some interesting stuff came out of that. 2 things in particular that were notable were, one, they didn't have time to like cast everybody until way later because the project originally was supposed to happen pre-COVID, and then it got delayed 2019 after everything blew up in 2020, and then they had to like re-outfit everything to be remote. So casting came years down, but at that time, he then just went and recorded all the lines himself.
Oh, I want to play that version!
So there's his version where he's voicing everyone and everything, and that is why the timing of the jokes lands, because it's all like his bits, you know? And like they kind of like were voicing to match his direction already provided in the placeholder.
That's
right?
a great idea. They should do that.
Super great. And furthermore, because he's working out of Japan, and the devs in many cases with the script didn't get the jokes he was going for, didn't get the humor, and we're like, are you sure this is okay? And he's like, yeah, no, don't worry, Western audiences will get it. And they kind of were like, okay. And
That's
he was
rough to take that on faith, man.
And he's the only one. He's like, I know this is gonna land. I know you guys don't believe me, but trust, it will work. You just have to believe in me. And like, it was so he had like, yeah, nowhere to bounce a lot of that off of, because they just kind of didn't get it, you know? And like, he just took the chance. So it's like, fuck, man, what an extra stressful
disaster.
What an extra stressful variable on the whole thing, you know? He's like, I know it's funny, and let me do the timing of the voices. Just trust me, it'll make sense when we release this overseas. Yeah, it's so wild to hear, like, damn, like, little things like that. What a fucking trooper, though. Like, incredible. So, fucking Hi-Fi Rush, man. Good shit.
Hey, man, I gotta use the washroom.
Okay. BRB. All right. Let's take the opportunity to take a word from our sponsors.
I love my sponsors. I love our sponsors. I love sponsors.
Yeah. This week, the podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN.
I love you, ExpressVPN.
Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like checking in your baggage at the airport without a lock. You think your stuff is kept private, but you never know who's going through your panties, hemorrhoid cream, or sex toys. Well, sure. Yeah, you never know.
You don't know.
Also, I know for a fact that when the TSA wants to just fucking rip open the zip, they hit the other side of the zip. They can just
Or they'll destroy your luggage. They don't care.
you can open the outside part of it and snoop in there, get all up inside of it, and then when they're done doing whatever they want, they throw a piece of paper that says you've been TSA'd.
We pissed in your luggage. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, kind of like how samurais would just like sign and toss the paper on your body. That's what they do after they violated your luggage.
It's exactly like that.
So that's bad. And
you don't want that
on the internet either. So this is where you should use ExpressVPN because it's like stopping that from happening. Yeah, that analogy is working. All right. When you go online, obviously, you can be in a situation where you're using unfamiliar Wi-Fi or whatever, and somewhere your data could be being stolen. You could have people trying to hack into your shit from, God knows where. And then, of course, there's your ISPs. There's data that can be sold, to try and maximize the targeting.
Don't sell my data.
Of you, exactly. And on top of that, you can get blocked out of watching the stuff you want just for being restricted according to where you live. ExpressVPN lets you circumvent all of that. Your identity is anonymized by a secure VPN server. It's encrypted for maximum protection. It's an easy-to-use app that you can fire up and use with one button, and it's not just on your phones. It's on your laptop. You can use it on your browser. You can use it on your router level, so you can even have it so that everyone...
Oh, really? I did not know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, everyone who uses your Wi-Fi can be covered by it if you want. You can get it all the way at the top level. And like I said, on a regular basis, I just hit that button so I can watch all the American stuff I want. They try to stop me. America tries to stop me, but you can't. You can't possibly stop me. I watch whatever I want. I just hit the button.
I want to watch 90 Day Fiancé, goddammit. You can't stop me.
And then I want to watch after the 90 days. Now what? They still tried to stop me, but they couldn't. So, if you refuse to be contained, then let ExpressVPN help you. Secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/superbeast today. That's expressvpn.com/superbeast. And you get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/superbeast.
Thanks, ExpressVPN.
Thank you, ExpressVPN. This week, the podcast is also sponsored by Honey. PayPal Honey is here to help you out with your shopping. As you may have heard, it's real simple. We buy things online. It's becoming pretty much the way to get things. I know for me, I probably order more things online than I actually go buy it physically these days.
I would agree with this.
And a lot of the time, I want to save some money. But you never know if you can or how or what or where and so on. And it's a bother, and I don't want to deal with it. I just want to buy the thing and save the money. So PayPal Honey is going to help you because basically it searches right at the checkout point for any coupons to apply to the promo code and then drops them in, applies coupons, you watch the prices drop, and you save money. Real simple. I've used it a couple times already, and it has worked on the places I like to shop for, like gear and studio stuff, tech stuff, got some headphones, all of that. And it was very simple. So it doesn't just work on desktop, it can work on your phone as well. You can activate it on Safari if you want to save on the go. And yeah, if you don't have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. By getting it, you're doing yourself a solid and supporting the show. So yeah, save some money on your online shopping now. You can get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/superbeast. That's joinhoney.com/superbeast. Thanks, Honey.
Thanks, Honey.
Last but not least, the podcast this week is sponsored by Factor, who are a ready-to-eat, nutritious meal kit, chef-prepared meals straight to your door, giving you the time and energy to tackle whatever you want to do. So, Factor's basically giving you, you got your options if you're doing your calorie smart, your protein plus, your vegan, your keto, your veggie, whatever types of meals you want. 34 chef-prepared, dietary-approved weekly options. There's always something new to try. More meals for any time of the day. You can get breakfast options. They got smoothies. They got egg bites. 45 plus add-ons. If you want to cut back on takeout as well, Factor is cheaper than takeout. The meals are ready faster than restaurant delivery. You can get them.
Oh, it's much faster.
You can get them in 2 minutes set up. It's
pretty... So like if you're afraid of a meal kit coming and you make all the food and then you put it in the oven and you light it on fire like maybe I did, Factor, you take it out, you put it in the oven, you set the right temperature, or even your microwave, it's done.
That's really fast.
Just eat it.
I like that. That's good. 120 seconds is. I can wait that long.
I can wait that long.
I cannot wait 121 seconds.
That's probably too long.
And enjoy clean eating without the hassle. You just choose the meals you want. Enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals straight to the door, ready in 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. It's done and done. So yeah, head to factormeals.com/castle50. And if you use the code CASTLE50, you're going to get 50% off your first box. That's code CASTLE50 at factormeals.com/castle50. And you're going to get 50% off your first box. Thank you, Factor.
Thanks, Factor.
All right. Let's check out what's going on. We've already touched on a couple little things in casual conversation, but some new stuff got announced that's pretty cool. I don't mind putting up top Hyperlight Breaker.
Dude,
what a good name. What a good name.
I wish people could have heard the noise I made when I saw this trailer.
Yeah, I now that it's like you've got like these games that are getting that are getting like a naming convention going, Rift of the Necrodancer, Hyperlight Breaker, that shit's awesome, and you're like, "Oh, this is great. I want a trilogy of games with Hyperlight, in the title." Yeah, it's interesting because you know how I didn't see it via news sites or announcements. I saw it via an ad that was promoting it. That was like, hey, you probably want to know about this game that just got announced. Check out Hyperlight Breaker. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm clicking on that. So open world, Hyperlight style, obviously. Co-op open world game. Looks fucking cool.
It's also roguelike.
And yeah, somewhat procedural in the world generation as well, right? Yeah. I just like this aesthetic can live forever, man. Fucking awesome to see Heart Machine still going with it.
Hyperlight Drifter was one of the very first of the Kickstarters
Mm-hmm.
and it was the first that came out that I'm like, this is a slam dunk. This is exactly what I wanted. It's great.
Yeah, I mean that was some of the coolest fucking pixel art back in the day ever. Like it just the most stylish like colors and moves and designs and like effects and all that. And you know, I didn't quite never beat it, but I did play Solar Ash a bit, and that aesthetic, you know, translates nicely, right? The colors, the overall vibe of that world and that sort of art design is one that can continue, you know, and it's distinct. I feel so going into Hyperlight Breaker now, which takes place in the Hyperlight universe. Yeah, this is fucking cool, and my brain immediately starts going into like, okay, what would you start call like now that you've got a naming convention? Like, what else is there to do with that? You know, like what would you call a finale at the end?
Oh man, I don't know.
You know,
That's tough.
it's got to be Hyperlight, and it has to end in ER, and Hyperlight Ender is not quite. You know,
No.
like you gotta something. You know, yeah. Hyperlight Breaker already kind of takes the place of Hyperlight Destroyer, so I don't know. Destroyer is cool, but Breaker is already that energy, right?
Yeah.
You need something
It can't
like
be a fighting destroy word.
right, maybe something contrasting that's more peaceful but also conclusive, you know? I don't know. There's just but like it's such a cool thing. I'm really excited about that. So anyways, co-op in this type of thing, and then something showing off like, you know, a couple of like cool ass like giant boss fight sequences, and you know, the moving the lasers, the lights, the dashes, all of that looks like a fucking hit. Plus tons of character customization as well.
It's on the wish list.
So go check that shit out. Hyperlight Savior, I like that.
I like that's
that.
good. I like that.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hyperlight Savior would be a really nice round out on a trilogy there. But this would be the funnest thing, right? Like you just have boop boop boop, 3 cool words: Drifter, Breaker. Yeah. Hyperlight Redeemer, not bad either. That's the right energy. That's the right energy. Yeah, not breaking, not fighting. You need something that contrasts but also fits the, you know, the number of the syllables and the ER, you know, kind of feeling of it. But anyways, Heart Machine, fuck yeah. Go check it out. There's gonna be, yeah, you can wishlist it right now, I guess. And
something really weird about
that's it.
I don't know how to describe the genre of game that I'm talking about. Early access has completely ruined my perception of games coming out, because when I see a cool indie game get announced, I'm like, fucking sick. I'm going to go download that. Oh, it's not. What? It's not. It's far away? I don't. Why is it far away?
But why can I not play it immediately right now? How
like
dare you?
when Hades 2 got announced, I had this feeling of like, oh sick, let's go play Hades 2.
Let's go play. No.
Like the early access release doesn't even have a release date? Oh, weird. Okay. And like Hi-Fi Rush definitely did not help this attitude.
It's out now. Yeah. Game Pro style, like instant drops. I mean, I hope they continue. But like it feels as if a game show announcement is going to be when my brain expects to go, all right, stop thinking about it, expect for it to pop up in a couple of, you know, years or whenever. But if I get a tweet about something, it's usually like, oh, where? Yeah, can I? That'd be cool. Right now, no word except just coming soon. But there's a really cool animated trailer for it. Really slick.
Give it to me now.
And the nice thing is that they didn't just drop an animated trailer and that's it. There's also gameplay right away that you can go check out too.
Yeah, that's very annoying. Hey, look at this animated trailer. What's the game look like? Shut up.
Don't stop though. What's that one from Don't Nod? I think the card thing, where it's like super nice animated trailer, but like there's like 2 seconds of cards.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I know the one you're talking about, but I'm just like.
Anyway. So that was a cool drop. Similarly, there was another game called Strayed Lights. Have you seen or heard of this?
No. How do I spell the first word?
Here. Strayed.
Oh, I see what you mean.
This game
there we go.
is particularly cool, visually gorgeous, and it is describing itself as a parry-focused action game.
Of course.
Right?
Oh, look, he does a big parry on the monster in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing a bunch of parries. Oh, wow.
So, so in particular, the way this is done is the core combat is parry focused. You're like a small being. You're going to fight against large monsters, and the style of the silhouettes of the monsters is really really nicely done. It's gorgeous. But you switch between 2 different styles, and if you parry attacks corresponding to the correct color, you fill up a special gauge. You can fight regularly and defeat the monsters by dodging and blocking and attacking, or you can fill up that gauge and one-shot the boss.
Oh, nice.
So the royal release is a instant kill. It's death, right? Parry is a style of play you're committing to. It's not just a, like, different way to do damage.
I feel like we're in a golden age of this, in that like we had Sekiro a little while ago, but now we have Hi-Fi Rush. RE4 is coming out on Friday, and now you're talking to me about this. Like Parry the World.
Parry the World
is becoming a thing.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm all about, like, give it fucking straight to my veins.
I think Hi-Fi Rush is probably as crazy as it's ever gonna get. Because like, does it have a hitbox? Yeah, you can parry it.
Go.
Parry a lava rock. Parry the boss turning their health bar on. Like
this. Yeah, this is interesting though, because like obviously like I said, Royal Guard is a stylish way to play that is like another way to do damage, and Sekiro as well is like a way to like break the boss patterns. By just like fucking doing it posture wise, but. In this case, it feels like the difference between playing Dot Eater versus just regular attacking. Like, you can just go in passive the whole way, and if you do build it up, your boss fight is annihilated in a completely different style. I hope that it pays off in a way that is like a unique, like, cutscene to like a unique move to like take out that boss sequence. Especially if that's the payoff for it. The demo is available now, though, so that's up on Steam. So talking about wanting to try shit out, Strayed Lights is what it's called. And yeah, it's gorgeous. Super duper cool.
Looks great.
Parry the fucking world. Now, third on the announcements here, I feel as if
I don't want to talk about Virtua Fighter NFTs. I'm just saying that right now.
Okay. Well, we can talk about how fuck. At Evo Japan, Virtua Fighter is one of the games, and it had a ton of signups. So sure. There's a lot of people that still play that are really excited for something to happen.
I bet.
Yeah, that was a virtual parry there. Good job. No, that's fine. We don't have to talk about them or the fact that Yu Suzuki himself is overseeing them.
Dude, Yu Suzuki fucking sucks, dude.
Just to make sure that it's as terrible a situation as possible. Couldn't be Shenmue 3 related, of course.
Dude, the fucking takeaway from people, oh my god, Shenmue 3, and then playing it like, oh wait, these games were trashed the whole time. What a fucking incredible story.
There was a time and place
I told you
for
all.
them. There was a time and place for them, and that time and place was before the Yakuza series existed.
Was before the PlayStation 2 existed.
So, yeah, it's fine. Fine. No. How about this then? Okay. When they were announcing, every time there's a trademark that goes up for something that's P5 related, you hear P5R, P5X, P5A. Yeah. What's it going to be? Who knows? P5 Dancing All Night? I did not expect one of those trademarks to result in a mobile game that appears to be Bizarro World alternate timeline P5.
Yeah, I also didn't expect it to look fantastic.
Yeah, mobile games can just look as nice as they want these days. It's kind of crazy. Plus, if you can plug in your 360 controller Bluetooth connection, you can just play. Like, I've talked about it before, but playing World of Dragons, the Platinum game on my phone, like Apple Arcade, plugged in my 360 controller, and I was like, well, I'm playing a game. This is a game, you know? Can't pretend it ain't. When you look at this new thing, Persona 5 Phantom of the Night, P5X, it's odd. So it appears basically like, for a second when I was watching it, I was like, is this like a Chinese knockoff of Persona? And it's like, no, it's official.
No, it's way too on point.
It is insanely on point. It's gorgeous, and it appears that it is. It's a spin-off game. Yeah, I think it's by a Chinese mobile studio, I believe. But it looks incredible. The character designs are fucking like awesome. And I guess we're just, gonna see a like alternate reality, but Joker's there. I don't think anyone knows what to make of this so far in terms of like what it actually is in relation to P5, but it looks really nice, and it seems like you're doing all the Persona things at the very least. We know through P3P that, like, Persona as a formula can be boiled down to some very basic, like, mobile game structure. You can take away the walking around if you wanted to, which they didn't in this case.
Yeah.
But you could, and just have it be S-links and clicking on people in hallways to call it a day. You
totally could do it. And this is a freemium gacha game? And what is, like, I feel like the most obvious way to fuck you over is to make the persona that you get via Fusion be a fucking loot box.
Oh, God. Demon Fusion is gacha related? Oh, that could
I don't know
absolutely.
That for a fact.
No. We don't. We are not saying that's what it is, but like that would be something they could do. That would be horrible. I really hope that doesn't happen. But if it's free to play, they're going to have to make their money somehow. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Apparently there are other SMT phone games in which that was the case.
I see.
Cool.
Well,
I would really like it if people made the games that I shouldn't play because of my susceptibility to this bullshit. I wish they would make them shitty and lame on purpose. That would be really nice.
Yeah, when I start hearing about how Devil May Cry Pinnacle of Combat has PvP added to it, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, fuck off. Are you serious?
Can you shut up forever?
Hell, shut your mouth.
Can you just go die? Can you fall in a well and fucking die,
Can you please fucking stop it?
Just walk into the ocean if you don't mind. At your soonest convenience. Yeah. So, no, it is, it appears that you will be able to get a playtest lottery to get in to try this out as of March 29th. So we'll find out soon enough. Not to mention, of course, the if there's more like lore implications of how there always is, right? Every Persona game has itself connected to like 5 spin-offs that tell you the complete story of how much meat Chie wants.
She wants all that meat, bro.
But
F steak.
But it is always cool to just see like a bunch of Persona character designs and be like, yeah, those are strong. Those are good. Ryuji, like Fem Ryuji appears to be, you know, the homie.
I'm down with that.
Can't wait for her to never shut up about being a Phantom Thief. And then, just, I don't know, couple characters around the school and shit, and you're like, yeah, that's...
Hey, look, it's not Morgana. It's an
right.
owl.
It's an owl, yeah.
Totally different.
It feels like P5 Majora's Mask.
It feels like we have Persona at home.
But it might be a good, fun game, you know?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
It's got all the makings.
So. We'll see. We'll see how upsetting it is that you won't play it.
P5X. Well, that's one letter down. Mm-hmm. I believe there was another 2 that were announced or trademarked that we get to find out what they meant. Yeah, and then moving right along. Hey, we got some great news. So, over at Respawn, they are opening up a new studio in Wisconsin, actually, to support Apex Legends because, the game is doing well. It needs extra support. So, they're opening up a new studio. They're also working, of course, on other beloved franchises, such as Star Wars Jedi Survivor, coming out soon. The statement was producing content on the scale and pace of Apex requires no easy feat. So we're always working to bring more talent, more experience, more ideas, and more capabilities. And so they're opening up a new studio. It's going to be Apex focused at first, for now, so they say, but probably for the foreseeable future. Respawn's...
Maybe they can add solos to that game.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, in any case, it's good to hear that things are going good. Hope that continues.
I'm just
1,000
thinking
years, Apex Legends, a million
solos
years.
wouldn't
Let's
be
go.
fair with their
Fuck yeah.
existing characters, right? Because like they can't all do the same thing. So you'd have to make like the solo mode. Everyone would have to play like the same character, but then you'd want like the zip line grappling hook for movement, and then maybe you could have the guys run on the walls also, and then so everybody would just be really mobile.
You could,
and then their ultimate, they could bring down like a robot.
Nah,
and then you could shoot in the robot.
Yeah, whatever, you can or not, doesn't matter. I mean, it's, if you want to. Hey, do we got any cheeseheads in the audience?
That means I don't know what that means. What is that?
Oh yeah, people from Wisconsin.
Oh, is that really cheeseheads? Are you serious?
Green Bay Packers and stuff. If you guys are out there, then fucking, how about you go apply? Right? You want to go work for Respawn Wisconsin? Get in there.
Sounds wildly pejorative.
They literally wear cheese on their heads.
I know, it's just like calling any group of people blank heads just seems off, man. I don't know. I do like cheese though.
Not bad. Well, that's good for them. I'm glad to hear that they're doing well. Thriving even.
Thriving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is better than it ever has been? Hey, chat. Live chat. What's the state of Apex now? Good? Bad? What do we got? Best and super fun?
I mean, opening up a new studio means they got cash inflow and they need more people on the project, so must be healthy.
Overall response is, who cares?
Investors must be pleased.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what else is healthy? The Peppa Pig franchise.
Yeah. Remember, kids, fucking spiders aren't dangerous.
Have you tuned into the latest in Peppa Pig's adventures?
No,
here, I'm going to ask you to click on this link.
Okay, I'm going to click on the link that you send me.
Which I will retweet over on Woolly Wolves, so everyone at home can play along as well and watch this little video of Peppa Pig playing.
Fucking Queen of England is there
in a puddle with the Queen, and
is this a video game or is this a fucking?
It appears to be. And shout out to Ray Narvaez Jr., who's discovered the Queen has a little cameo in Peppa Pig. They're playing in the water, in the puddles. Yeah.
Oh fuck! I gotta retweet this. Holy shit!
So Peppa Pig goes places.
Oh fuck!
The Queen with a complete cameo.
Oh my god! Oh
yeah. For audio listeners,
okay.
You know, just know that the homage is paid to the royals, and
that's accurate.
And yeah.
Oh, good time.
It's going places.
Oh man, that's a great clip. As somebody points out in the chat, I think the most baffling thing is that the Queen of England in this clip is like the only human being in the Peppa Pig universe.
The Queen is not a pig,
which like makes her like a freak.
She's a weird human. Yes. Now,
it would be like the equivalent of in our real world that we were all human beings and the Queen of England was some kind of pig monster, which is actually fairly accurate. So you know what?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but
I would in fact describe the Queen of England as some sort of pig monster.
I mean, I can only hope that the Queen will play in the puddle with the children and protect them and keep them safe from her roving son.
There it is. Hey.
Just off screen.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. There we go. Hey. You want to fucking see some stats on the metrics of Elden Ring?
I would love that. That sounds really interesting.
So Bandai released some infographics showing off a couple of different things. 5.9 billion boss attempts. They've got basically the metrics on...
Thank you for sending me that.
The most struggled bosses. Rounding it out at number 5, Star Scourge Radahn.
Unsurprisingly, prior to the patch, he was outrageous.
139 million attempts. Number 4, Radagon. 148 million attempts. That's interesting that, you know, that's where your final boss lies. But then again, right, super bosses and such. Excuse me. Number 3, the fucking Tree Sentinel in Limgrave.
Wildly unsurprising.
It's right there.
It's right there. Everyone's going to encounter it.
Right? Number 2, Margit, the Fell Omen.
The mandatory wall that everyone hits.
And number 1, obviously, Miquella. Melania, Blade of Miquella. Now,
unshocking.
Now, I'm shocked that Moog is not on this list.
Yeah, I flew through Moog. I feel like most people, by the time they get to Moog, they're like as strong as they are when they fight Melania, but he's not Melania.
I thought Phase 2 Moog would absolutely be on this list.
Also, Moog is like the most hidden boss in the entire game.
So is it more likely lower because they just didn't find him or ignored him?
I think so. I think that's a huge proportion, but also I found Moog a lot easier than Millennia.
Yes, definitely easier than Millennia, but not easier than Margit, the Tree Sentinel, you know, or Radon, right? Pro patch, but you know, I feel like for me he was like second, but I also had a very weird way of fighting him, so I went in early and fought it loose with the fists. Causes of death, kind of obvious, but 69% enemies and NPCs, 14% falls, 15% status effects.
Yeah, I really want to point out my statistic on that. Bring falls up to like 40%.
I'm sure looking at falls at 15% is one thing. I'm sure that Miyazaki saw status effects at only 15 and was disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt in his gut that number was way too low.
Yeah, gravity is my most feared nemesis in every game I play.
Especially when you go back to the first fucking area and walk to the end, and you get fucking just gangster dropped off the cliffside. Co-op versus invasion. Over 1 billion summons, 88% of which were co-op, 12% invasion. It's the most ignorable multiplayer has ever been, right? In their games. So, considering I really had minimal multiplayer interaction this time around, unsurprising. I wonder if this includes NPC summons, though, for like cinematic purposes and quest lines. And then top 5 spells cast.
This list is like, okay, number 1 is Rock Sling. Guess what? Rock Sling's the best move in the game for 90% of the game. So no shit.
Number 2, Crystal Torrent.
Okay, they've buffed it and they've buffed it and they've buffed it, and it's one of the worst spells.
I can't that is a wild thing to be in number 2, because at the time I remember being like, yeah, this is not what I would want. The shotgun is a cool idea and concept, but I just went with Rock Sling all the time, especially because of the delay, you know, and the physical hit and the crumple, and Crystal Torrent number 2.
Baffling.
Not Kalmet Azure.
Nope.
3, Glintstone Pebble for sure.
You start with it.
4, Great Blade Phalanx, so
it's incredible.
It's super cool, and Virgil and all of that. And then 5, Rotting Breath.
Rotting Breath is like
best of the Dragonhead spells.
It's the best fucking holy spell in the entire game, and it solves like 40% of the game's bosses outright.
So even buffed, Crystal Torrent still.
Oh, it's terrible.
What a weird one. Maybe there's like a PvP usage for it, or something particular.
Maybe.
And then when it comes to incantations, number 1, Blessing of the Erd Tree.
Well, these are acquired, right? These aren't cast.
Oh, true. Okay, for spells, it's spells cast.
Yeah.
For
so these
incantations, it's acquired.
The phrasing on this is goofy, but like it's spells cast and then it's spells acquired. And spells acquired is like, oh look, all of
the
these
most
are
obvious
really
ones. Yeah. Okay, that's pointless then. Who cares? Yeah.
Because Rotten Breath is an incantation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, unsurprising that Rock Sling is up there, though. I mean, it has a delay.
Okami.
It
Oh,
crumples.
somebody in the chat has an idea as to why Crystal Torrent counts. It's possible every projectile counts as a singular cast of the spell for the metric.
Is it? Is that?
If that's the case, that would totally do it.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, it could be. Still, I just felt like people kind of just switch off of that shit. But, anyway, yeah, the bosses by boss attempts. That's quite surprising. I would love if did they ever put anything else like this out for previous games?
They do. Yeah.
Okay. Because this is the first time I've heard about it.
So, my favorite thing about the boss attempts thing is Elden Ring has bizarre completion statistics. So like it's been pretty consistent overall that the same amount of so most people don't beat games. Elden Ring has completion rates that are approximately the same as everything else.
Mm-hmm.
The difference, so like maybe 30% beat get the final ending. What's really wild is that the Sea of Stars ending has like a 9% completion, but the default ending has like 4%. So, like, think of how much extra shit you have to do to get Ronnie's ending.
Yeah.
Compared to the default.
Do they have the other percentages?
I don't have them on me right now.
Interesting.
But the point I kind of wanted to tie into that is like, hey, look, we have 5 bosses, right? Okay, 2 of them are at the beginning of the game, 1's in the middle, and 2 are at the ass end of the game for most attempts. Right? The fucking boss is on there. Like, most people who played Elden Ring played a fucking shit ton of Elden Ring.
Yeah, I would love to see like 6 through 10 on that to get the idea. Like, does does the act? Well, I mean, final boss phase 1, right?
I think so I remember them doing one for all of these, all of the Souls games in Sekiro, and I think the funniest result was in Dark Souls 2. The most lethal enemy in the entire game was the standard hollow with the great sword. You remember those guys?
Really?
They would drag the great sword on the ground.
Yeah.
They killed more players than like the next top 2 combined.
Okay, if you
absolutely absurd.
If you include enemies and bosses together, that's a different list, I'm sure. Ulcerated Tree Spirit, nowhere to be found either.
Well, once you know how to beat one, and also all the Ulcerated Tree Spirits would count as different bosses, right?
Based on their locations, yeah, sure. Anyway, a little fun infographic there. All right. Some stuff came out. Obviously, it's been a pop-in week for Resident Evil.
What?
So, just before we actually went live, I don't know if you saw the
I did.
RE4 Masterpiece Theater, Leon and the Mysterious Village, Episode 1.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
What a fucking amazing commercial. So they basically just made a Studio Ghibli does RE4 animated commercial of what appears to be a multi-part series, which is awesome if this is going to actually have episodes. Yeah, just Leon looking for Ashley and talking like Howl, looking like, again, just full-on Ghibli energy.
Yeah, it's straight based off of the melancholy promise of Heidi, Girl of the Alps.
Okay.
Like it is I'm gonna just send this to you. You can skim it. It is 1-to-1 of this Ghibli thing, and it's fucking strange.
It's cute.
Strange as hell.
all
It's
the
great.
townspeople are making weird noises, and their eyes are red, and the dog's popping, and you got the Plagas everywhere. But it's adorable, the most adorable Las Plagas ever.
So they did this with RE8. I don't know if you remember, for Village, they had like a puppet show.
Did they?
Yeah, they had a fucking like a series of Muppets of all the bosses singing a song about "Come to the village, we're not scary."
Interesting. Okay. It's from the people that did Cult of the Lamb. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Okay. They did an amazing job landing that Ghibli energy. Like, it's super duper. Like Leon's face and his voice and everything is just like, yeah, like they got it right on. If they're committing to at least a couple of these, it's a fucking perfect ad. Great stuff there. There was also some footage of RE8 VR.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but
I've seen it.
Holy shit, that looks fucking incredible. So
I saw more importantly than I saw the footage of RE8 VR is I saw the idea of Ethan Winters like with his sad puppy, like, I'm so sad, my daughter, my wife, just like crying as he's doing gun katas and going
flipping
from
the gun around,
Royal
hand to
Guard
hand.
to gunslinger.
No, just beating the shit out of anything coming his way because it looks like attacks or punches are like mapped physically to your hand movement. So if you need to do physical hits as fast as possible, I guess that's going to be one way to deal with the game. Like, can you just aura your way through everything? Like, really?
Probably not everything, but probably a bunch.
That looks fucking wild. Also, like, the scariness. I mean, not that RE is about that so much, but you know, the fear element goes flying out the window when you can just clown on everything with your actual hands being tracked. I noticed that footage, of course, showed off a lot of trick shots, a lot of equilibrium and auras, and not a hint of the reason why this VR version of the game is being made at all. Lady D.
Yeah, that's right.
In the first person, so you can put your hands out and just. Yep.
You know, it's funny that you mention Resident Evil's not super about that. Reviews came out for RE4 Remake, and hey, shocker, it's really good. But a consistent through line is like that. How do I put, that basically, like, people were worried that it wasn't going to be as goofy or as silly, right? You know, the iconic lines and action movie cliches weren't going to be there. And what they seem to have done is made it so that everything is much more serious and scary and vicious and cruel and dark. But Leon stayed the same. So, like, it's a much more realistic, dark, cruel version of the village.
But he is.
But Leon still is goofy, so he looks extra nuts.
I mean, it feels like that's what nobody wants fucked with, right? Like the whenever you're doing this type of thing, when FF7 was getting remade, the big worry was like, what are they going to do to Cloud? You know?
Right.
So you can't really fuck with protagonist energy when there's a particular quirkiness that you're looking forward to, you know?
So like you know, you take the village thing that's in the demo, right? And you have the famous bingo line. Like, the village assault sequence is way more violent and way more harrowing in the remake. But he still goes for the bingo line, even though it's like super weird.
Right.
It's great.
With entrails all over his jacket.
Yeah. And it's like it genuinely kind of feels, from what I can tell, that they've taken some of Dante from the future and just like brought it back to what was Tony Redgrave.
Or it's just his version of coping.
Yeah, it's probably cope. It's very likely cope.
Because weren't we also talking about the whole PTSD bit that's like more prevalent?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's gone through Raccoon City and like he's become super agent man, but also I have to laugh in the face of danger. If not, I cry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they seem to be playing up, from what I can tell, that Leon was something they didn't deal with in the original at all. But like Leon goes from RE2 to RE4 and saved 0 people. Like his actions in Resident Evil 2 are a complete failure, and he saves no one.
Himself.
Yeah,
That's it. Okay.
that's it.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. Okay. Um can does the same apply to
Somebody in the chat says he saved Claire and Sherry. You're fucking dumb. Claire saved herself and Sherry.
would the same apply to like Chris and
Jill and Barry and
Jill?
them?
Yeah.
No, because so in RE1, all the people that die in RE1, they're all like your fellow like team guys,
Stars.
or they're shithead scientists. You're not dealing with the death of like multiple hundreds of thousands of civilians.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So he's like he made it out, no one else did. That'll fuck you up.
Yep.
Time to
Not good for you. So instead,
talk about bingo.
hey bingo, hey, like there's a clip floating around where, like, you remember in RE4 there was the Plagas that could bite your head off and kill you instantly.
The full, yeah.
Yeah, if you parry them and then shoot them a couple times, one of his lines is "no food for you," and it's like, this is you're fucking weird, dude. Like,
just hit him with the back off, get your own sandwich.
Yeah, like fucking Jesus.
All right.
You're a fucking dork.
Nice. Yeah. Fun stuff there. I look forward to the new era of memes that'll come out this week.
I'm you know what? I bet you there will be at least one meme. I still think you didn't play Village, right?
I didn't play Village.
Because Village is the worst ever. Because Ethan will be like throwing down fucking like zingers at corpses, and the zingers suck. Like it's astonishing. Like, I forget,
but
people in the chat,
suck in a bad way or suck in a good way? Right?
Oh, in a good way. Like they're embarrassing. Like when you kill Lady D, if somebody can remember the exact phrasing, it's yeah, she's dying, and she's fucking dying, and she's going, "Curse you!" And then she turns into a bunch of rocks and falls apart, and he goes, "You're the one who's cursed." And then like dusts himself off and it's like, it sucks.
Nice.
You suck at this, Ethan. You are a loser.
Yeah. I did see that one little comic of Leon tied up being like, "Give her back." And then it's like, "What, Ashley?" And it's like, "No, his jacket. He took it off." It's a nice jacket.
It's a nice jacket.
Yeah. Anyways, all right.
First seen on Brendan Fraser in some movie.
Yeah. No character has ever obtained a bomber jacket and like was not immediately cooler for it.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
I really hope just keeping the jacket is a costume you can unlock. I really hope.
Last but not least, if you pre-order Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in Japan, you can get yourself a special limited edition spoon and fork.
They're really not trying very hard, are they, anymore?
You know, on the one hand, this is a far cry from a sick-ass mid-air Link doing a flip-style statue that I would love to see as a or whatever, but it's not brass knuckles.
It's not brass knuckles.
So there's that. No knife. You can't give people a knife because that's like brass knuckles. You
can't. You shouldn't. But also, this is lame as fuck. Also, Link in the game doesn't use cutlery. He just jams it in his mouth. He just jams
food in his mouth. Yeah. No. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like pre-order bonuses. Like, what do we got? Going back long enough, you got the fucking Ryu headband, and then those awful Viper and Ryu toys that were half melted.
I maintain, and there are some people who will remember, and they will be like, "Oh yeah." When you pre-ordered Portrait of Ruin, the Castlevania game for the DS, they gave you a tiny little Castlevania Anniversary cartridge holder that you could put your Castlevania games in, and it would hold 2 cartridges, and it was the really small and high quality, and it was the best. Cool. It was the best. I used it for years. It was super good.
I thought it was rad that Arkham gave you a Batarang until I realized that you can't take the Batarang off.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, understandable. You cannot give people a weapon. But, I remember, what was it, Halo 3 with the full-on Master Chief helmet? But
I was waiting for you to finish your thought because I was going to say Halo 3's helmet was the worst ever I've ever.
Full-sized, but not full-sized. Just slightly smaller than full-sized.
Good enough. You can put your cat on. You can put it on your cat.
But not on you.
Bullshit.
Fucking waste. Yeah. Same thing with the Titanfall helmet. Yeah, I never got the Titanfall helmet. The pilot helmet can't be worn either. That sucks, man.
Don't make helmets you can't wear.
What's the fuck? Why? Is it like a hazard thing? Like, is
no,
there
it's a cost of materials thing.
But if you're going like 80% of the way there,
Oh man, somebody pointed out the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh god, the Infinity Stones.
The fucking eggs. Oh my god.
Oh god. No, okay, to be fair, that was not a pre-order thing. That was a prize for winning the tournament.
Yeah, some of these we've been talking about are deluxe edition things, but whatever, fuck it. This is terrible.
No. This was a prize for winning the Marvel tournament, the event.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. It was one of a kind, and they couldn't fucking make it look like anything but shit plastic.
People are actually arguing, saying it was pre-order. Hold on, Marvel vs. Capcom Collector's Edition.
I thought it was the Battle for the Stones reward.
No, it was the Collector's Edition. You got the eggs. It was the Collector's Edition.
Okay.
$200.
Oh God.
Yeah. And the photo is like these glowing gemstones.
Yeah, of course. The
worst.
Well, and it's a knife and a fork that just says The Legend of Zelda on it. It's not
these things cost 4 cents each to make, dude.
Like, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, hold on a second, because fuck off with this laziness. If you're gonna do it properly, there's different ways to do it, right?
What's he gonna do? I don't know what he's doing. He's left the camera.
When I went to Japan, I got a knife and a fork and a spoon from the Gundam Cafe.
Oh, that looks cool.
And these are actual, like, sort of like either copper or brass. Like, it's a steel thing, and they're like shaped like Zaku knives and axes. And
those look great.
Yeah, Xeon weaponry, right? Super detailed and cool. You could do a Master Sword hilt on a thing, or a Triforce with a little bit of fucking panache to it. Something, whatever you want. Instead, we've just got, like, I have heat axes here that are super fucking detailed and nice, and I use them regularly because they're super cool. I got chopsticks that are beam sabers, and I just look and it's like, no, you just took a normal fork and you just put the the Zelda text on it and called it a day.
So Wooly, if you're disappointed, perhaps I could offer you a premium canvas bag, or mayhaps a fancy robot helmet that contains dangerous levels of mold.
Which one was? Which one?
That was Fallout 76. Both of those were Fallout 76.
Oh yeah.
Remember the canvas bag? And it was like a piece of shit nylon.
You know, it was a cool bag. Mirror's Edge.
I didn't even know that. Did that come with the fucking
Mirror's
bag?
Edge came with the yellow bag that Faith uses for her deliveries.
I should have gotten.
It was super cool.
That's cool.
Hold on a second. Phone call. BRB. Excuse me.
Good time for a phone call. It allowed me to piss.
There you go. Strategic.
I should just keep bottles, dude. I should just keep bottles.
You see the risk of the bottle is that once it starts, the process doesn't have to end there. Who's to say, now that it's contained, who's to say when you have to get rid of it, right?
You're right, man. When I was a teenager, I'd let plates pile up around my computer because I was too lazy to bring them upstairs.
You know, the urgency that your bladder tells your body that you've got to get rid of your fluid is one that says, oh, got to go stand over a toilet and get rid of this. But the moment there's a container, a middleman in the process, that urgency is removed, and that bottle can sit and be removed at your convenience, which unfortunately may or may not be never. The bottle is a risk.
It's a risk. So what you're saying is the bottle works so well, it's a risk.
Have you heard about the recent latest and worst episode of Hoarders ever?
No.
So Hoarders, you know the show.
I'm familiar with Hoarders.
People hoard.
They like to hoard.
They came across the worst hoarder of all time. A lady who, her and her mom, have been hoarding shit in buckets and bottles for 40 years.
Okay, yeah.
With no emptying, with no removal at any point, just straight preservation of fecal matter in bottles for 4 decades.
Right, yeah.
And all food was rotten and just lying around and contaminated. And the craziest part about it was just the person in question was just like, I'm just going to go in and eat some of that contaminated food. And then the party's over. So, you know, like intervention, you let me just have one more night with that food and then it'll be over. And they're like, no, you can't do that.
I mean, they've been doing it for 40 years. Clearly they can.
And her answer verbatim is, well, I've been eating shit for 12 years, so what the fuck does it matter? And, like, the entire production team just kind of falls apart at the prospect of, like, helping out a hoard situation where it's not dead cats being found or just gross food.
I have to say, I was waiting for that to come up. So as disgusting as that horribly is, hoarding that involves discovering dead cats or dogs is worse by default.
So their backyard was filled with just strays freaking the fuck out and running around and cats everywhere. I don't know that they discovered an actual cat corpse, but dung eating was on the table. And
anyways, caca consuming.
Yep. And I want to say the end note was just, so after that episode, like, the city just kind of came in, took a look, and went, fuck this house, and condemned it.
Oh yeah, burn it down.
And just the whole thing, just demolished the whole thing. Because there's no saving it. There's nothing to be done. Like, yeah, it's the worst it has ever been. Just absolutely nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. I think she was describing that she couldn't smell it anymore. Like, it had hit a point.
Well, no, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. She's like, I don't smell anything. I don't get it. What's the problem? You know.
Most smells work their way out of, like, noticeability on a human being in like 20 minutes to an hour. If you live in it, nah.
Yeah. If for the curious, you don't need to see it. Just the words are enough. You know, and if anything, if you must, then go to the end just to hear how matter of fact she is about it. But you don't need to go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. So, anyways, you know how you get there? It starts with bottles.
Starts with bottles, huh?
Yep. All right.
That's how we got there. I was
That's
wondering how we got there, and then you brought it back. I appreciate putting a bow on it.
Starts with bottles. Let's take some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
All right. Who's this? It is...
Oh, by the way, I would recommend to anybody who cares about the Disco Elysium developers that you should be aware that buying Disco Elysium no longer gives the original devs any of that money, and they are still fighting a legal battle with the company.
So I feel like there's often a period where you hear that, like, oh, there's like money going into escrow, and then it gets settled upon the the conclusion of a lawsuit or something like that. But yeah, at the moment, that seems to be the latest of that news. I don't know how long this battle is going to go for. Obviously, it's going to fucking continue for a while, but it would be nice if there was a point at which something like that could happen, if not just like damage reparations, But yeah, man, whenever the summary of that comes down and it's like, yeah, so literal Estonian gangsters just stole the fucking, like, the success of the company away. Like, literal gangsters, not like shady Wall Street businessmen, not shitty Bobby Kotick style, like, creeps. Like, no. Actual, like, underworld gangsters. It's kind of...
There is an argument to be made, not that I'm making it, that the only legitimate way to acquire Disco Elysium at this point is via piracy. Which is disco as fuck!
That is one thing. Yeah. No, but obviously it's been that shit situation since they all left. So like it's been this way for like a while, I'm sure. Anyway, whatever. We'll see what happens. The story ain't done yet. What was going on? Sirixy, how you doing? Jared Ginger of Dojima and Judgment Wooly. We've seen no shortage of lousy DLC practices for the last 20 years, up to and including the stories being concluded behind the DLC. Not trying to top that, but wanted to say that this is a part PSA, part question, if you can think of other ways that money's been wrung out of the consumer. Like a Dragon Ishin has long had a policy to have DLC. Present day, the practice was to have the DLC always available so that you could start a new save file and gain access to the same DLC, even if it was just consumables. Okay, this kind of goes on, but the summary is
I'm gonna skip it ahead. When you download the consumables in the Like a Dragon Ishin Collector's Edition, it locks to your save file and becomes unusable for future new games.
Well, more along the lines of it's a consumable that's a one-time use item that you get a reward.
It's actually one-time use for real, not one-time use per download on your save.
Yeah. So unlike any other game where you had like pre-order items that would start out in a chest somewhere or whatever, in this case you have to buy them again if you start a new save for any reason.
Nonsense.
That's trash. That's
bullshit.
It's like a super subtle, small way to like just squeeze a little bit more out of people, but garbage. Don't do it.
Total trash.
Hasn't been that way. I'm glad people noticed because again, it's like that's a real subtle one, especially if you're trying to make a consumable that people are supposed to come back and constantly buy. So this is just like, oh, your first one's free type of thing, and it's like, well, fuck you. This is supposed to be So, obviously we've seen garbage practices and garbage DLC rewards or whatever. Have anything as bad as that? I mean, yeah, over the years it's like we've talked about all the shit with fucking the loot box garbage. It's the entire discussion really, like, to be honest, but more of just a heads up for anybody about that. They give you that first hit.
Like, maybe I'm gonna sound like a massive fucking shill considering we're talking about this, but we were talking about pre-order bonuses and we're talking about DLC. I'm looking at the RE4 Steam page, and their deluxe edition is like $10, and it comes with a ton of costumes and weapon skins and all sorts of shit. And like, it could be worse. They could be charging you $30 for that.
Sure. Or there could be tiered pre-order layers.
Ugh.
If you get a month ahead, you get more.
I think BioWare had the worst ever, which is like, the more pre-orders we get, the more we're gonna add to this. And like the pre-order numbers were always like shit, and so they were like, well, guess you fucking only get this skin and a hat.
All right. Old man yelling at arcade-shaped clouds says, "Dear Watrick, Moivin, and Pooley Baden, a space in my local mall has recently opened up for business, claiming itself to call itself an arcade. To clarify, the mall's been longer than I've been there, longer than I've been alive, and it's got a death of the mall situation going on. Yeah, I got a lot of nostalgia. Once upon a time, they had like Tekken Tag on big screens and rows of Mortal Kombat games, etc. And again, it goes on. The new space that replaced all that stuff is called a Clawcade, and it's pretty pathetic. It's all rip-off prize games, claw machines. The only ray of sunshine is a Neo Geo cabinet tucked in the back. Nothing super interesting loaded onto it, but overall, it's a shambling corpse of my childhood nostalgia, and it made me wonder if any money is actually made setting up stuff like this." So,
it's gambling.
Yada yada. It goes on to ask about that, and the answer is yeah. Like, why do
claw machines are slot machines?
That's it. These things make money if there's a gambling element to it, where people are basically addicted to coming back and trying to get that next one or that next hit, whether it's dropping the coin into the pusher or the up and down light thing. They're all fixed rates of wins. You can go watch a number of videos about how the settings when you first plug those machines in can let you set a win rate.
And the win rate's determined by like only 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 50 claw pulls will even give full power to the claw. Like, it is a slot machine.
Yeah, so you cannot possibly win unless the game has received enough money to make sure it's paid off the prize it's about to give you. There was a test done on some of them where like the ticket feeder, where you do the round circle. You have to stop it right on the mark, and you can use a machine to 100% every single time, always hit it frame perfect. And with a machine input cheating, essentially, it always went one off or one before. It never let it hit the bullseye. So, and when it eventually did, it was after X number of coins were put in. So
yeah, all those machines are regulated by like gambling agencies.
Yeah,
they are slot machines.
Yeah. So why do places like favor these kinds of things? Obviously, that's what makes money. They also have like things like, and the other question about like why do like light gun games, prize games, and racing games, big cabinets that physically take up a bunch of space are also part of that. It's part of the experience overall. They make it like a cinema thing. Kids are going to jump on a steering wheel or a
Those
DVR
are all
machine.
very spectacular cabinets.
And of course, for business reasons, the old style of arcade doesn't really, that can't really make a ton of money anymore. Those days are gone. That's not really what people associate with video games. And like, if so, they're not really willing to pay like 50 cents for one play. You know, that feels like a ripoff compared to free games on your phone, right?
The more things change, the more they stay the same. The claw machine to get your Sonic the Hedgehog doll from 1995 is functionally identical to Grand Blue Fantasy. There's just more steps.
Now, there is a formula that does work that can, still make money with classic arcades, but it's not the token standard play. It's pay a cover, $5 to get in, and then you're in a full arcade with free play on everything, and perhaps it's a barcade, and there's drinks, and you can have some food and drinks and play while you're hanging out for the night. Or you go to like Galloping Ghost, where they've got warehouses and warehouses of games to play, where you can basically go hang out with your friends for a night, right? In which
Or
case,
fuck that, go down to Pakistan and have the fucking losers subsidize the place. Only the
or
losers.
or take your shot dethroning Arslan Ash. Yes. But no, it feels like the way you can still have old style arcades, still work is a barcade situation, or just a normal arcade, but pay to enter for the night, as opposed to a per game situation. And then it's worth it because a bunch of friends are super willing to go spend the night out, having some drinks and playing some games, and as long as you want, until the place closes. That's a great night. That's a really fun time, and that's pretty much the only way to do it these days.
Hey, I gotta ask you, Wooly. Speaking of arcade nightmares, have you seen the fucking Hurt Box?
Yeah, actually, shit, that was on the list, and I forgot to mention it. Yosef on Twitter has shown off. There's a hitbox, which, as we know, gets rid of the stick and puts all buttons on your arcade controller. Well, the Hurt Box gets rid of the buttons and puts all sticks down, so you can play your
arcade sticks.
You can play movement on one stick and then another 2 sticks that you combine to press buttons. And I guess if each stick direction represents a button, then you have to always hit 2 different
up is always
directions.
going to be light punch, and down is always going to be heavy punch.
Okay, but if you want to press both at the same time, one has to go up and one has to go down.
Yeah, totally.
But then what if you want to do 3 at a time?
There's footage of him playing it, and he's playing fucking Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah, he's doing
Strive,
combos.
And it's the worst thing ever.
He's doing combos, But the question is, can you press more than 2 buttons at a time? Because then you might not be able to do some things, I guess if you have the macro for a burst.
Well, he's playing Guilty Gear, right?
Yeah.
So Guilty Gear only has 5 buttons.
But the combination of buttons.
He's got 16 different, directions with the 2.
But it's not about the number of buttons. It's about how many you have to press down at once to make something happen.
It's got to be macroed it.
Right?
It's got to be...
yeah.
It's the worst. It's the fucking worst thing I've ever seen.
It might just be using the macros, but it's called a Hurt Box aptly, and God bless if you just need to make things harder for yourself. Hilarious.
Terrible freak thing.
There's only one game that should be forcing that on you, and it's called Bariki 1.
Yeah.
The fighting game where you move with the buttons and you attack with the stick.
I appreciate it for being weird, but also fuck it.
Well, it doesn't appreciate itself because there's a reason why no one knows what the fuck it is. Anyways, let's take one over here. Capcom's cross-brand promotion worked on me, and I'm a fucking idiot. Good day, lads. Thanks for all the great content over the years. You two are some of the sickest cunts out there. Okay.
Australia.
Australia. All right.
Australia.
Some of the sickest cunts out there. Yeah.
There's a guy who writes into my stream oftentimes, and every single message always starts with "goodbye," so that I can always acclimate the accent to the rest of the message.
A few weeks ago, I downloaded Street Fighter Duel, the mobile gacha game. I'm not gonna.
Don't.
While riddled with microtransactions, this is to be expected from Crunchyroll games. It's still a fun time waster. This week they started with an event for Gore Magala Ken, which is Monster Hunter themed with quests, rewards, and more. And it got me hankering to return to Monster Hunter Rise, double dipping to get it on PS5 to prepare for Sunbreak. While playing, I realized a stupid gacha game got me craving Monster Hunter. I got bamboozled and hoodwinked into buying another Capcom game, and the cross-promotion worked on me. I didn't even notice. Has cross-promotion ever worked on you cleanly? Or were you more resilient than an upside-down land-living idiot like me?
Overwatch was
Lachlan
so hot
from Melbourne. Melbourne. Australia, I know.
Overwatch was so hot at one point that it got people to load up a MOBA game because of a cross promotion.
I played HOTS. I played one game of HOTS. to get that Zarya skin.
That is by far the craziest one.
I mean, the fact that it was like play one game and do it was like, yeah, I can
do one game.
I can do one game. I will not load up Mega Man Cross Dive, but I will angrily stare at Virgil and Zero and Dante X.
I think the most effective cross promotion I've ever seen in my life is that I know people who became Final Fantasy 14 lifers after the Nier collaboration was announced.
Wow. Okay.
In particular, I remember talking to Rebecca Ford, currently creative lead. Well, the lead at Warframe now. She used to be a PR space mom, right? And she was like, yeah, I've dabbled in 14, but oh man, I want to get that Nier stuff. I'm like, what level are you? She's like, 30. Like, oh cool, you have like 3 expansions to go. And she's like, I'm gonna get to it. And then like a year and a half later, she was like, yeah, I got to the Nier stuff. And like that goal was there the whole time for people.
Yeah, I guess if there's 2 things you already kind of like, you know, or that are good, then they cross over, then it works. What am I thinking of? I feel like I never really was curious about Ape Escape until, like, wasn't there the Metal Gear promotion?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Ape
first
Escape
time.
fucking rules.
Yeah, no, I only found out about that later in demo disc format, but I wasn't. That was during an era when I didn't have a PlayStation, so I kind of didn't know.
Somebody points out, Ecto in the chat points out, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Ah, yeah.
It's one of the best.
So you SMT fans can go find out what this Dante guy is all about in Devil May Cry 2.
I think the most surprising like crossover stuff, if it ever works, is when the 2 things are not in similar genres or even media. Right? Like SMT and Devil May Cry, that's not the same type of fucking game.
Yeah.
Like I can see overlap between 14 and Nier Automata. Like they're both made by the same parent company. Like they're both ostensibly action RPGs.
Tekken did not convince me to go back and resume watching The Walking Dead.
No.
So,
but maybe Geralt showing up to fight a fucking Rathalos made you think about playing The Witcher.
Actually, no, but it made me think about it when he showed up to fight in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
That's more thought than I gave to it, for sure. Yeah. You know, Noctis was in Tekken, and obviously...
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's like, yeah, that's already in my wheelhouse. Why not? The whatchamacallit? Monster Hunter cross
everything?
Portable Ops? No.
No. Peace Walker.
Peace Walker.
Yeah, Peace Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And that made perfect sense because they were on the same platform. They kind of controlled similarly.
Yeah. No, sometimes it does work, you know, if it's
Chubby Pencil in the chat nailed it. And my personal destruction of Death Stranding and Monster Energy.
Yeah. I mean, for that, it just didn't work on me because I've always, like, my preference is Guru because it doesn't taste as chemically as other.
But like I was like, fine, I'll try Monster as a goof. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
I'm awake.
I like the super chemically tasting energy drinks. I can't, man.
Oh, I drink exclusively the sugar-free ones, which don't taste nearly as chemically.
Oh, forever. I've always been sugar-free on all of them. But like of those Monster-free sugar-frees, Red Bull sugar-frees, Guru, and a couple others, like Guru's the only one that doesn't.
I'll be honest, Bully. I like the taste of chemicals.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
If I
want
was
it.
if I was a stupider, trashier person, I may or may not huff gasoline
Right.
because I
Okay.
love the smell of gasoline. But you're
The
not
other
supposed to huff gasoline because it's bad for you. It's brain damage.
Yes. Correct. I also the thing is too is those chemicals, they're the kinds that you smell the moment you open the can.
Yeah.
And like, I just that
Yeah.
hit I don't enjoy
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Um
Hey, man, I Red Bull, Red Bull fucking hit the nail on the head. Red Bull like messed with flavors, and other energy drinks messed with flavors, and discovered that if your energy drink doesn't taste like medicinal chemical soup,
mhm.
most people don't believe that it's giving you any energy. So you
I don't know if I
like
don't know if that's the reasons. Um I will say the Monster Rehab is more juice tasting than chemical tasting. The iced tea
yeah.
and shit is actually like not bad.
No,
You know?
that pharmacy chemical flavor is like added to a bunch of them.
God, these fucking Baja Blast drinkers craving the artificial weird shit.
Paint smells good too, but you're not supposed to have paint either.
All right, that's satisfactory.
All the bad chemicals are bad for you, but they smell great. It sucks.
They really don't. Like that's crazy. Like it's so weird because like your thing with like perfumes and like
Oh yeah,
scented things.
violently allergic to perfume. But if I'm at a gas station, I'm huffing good because it's delicious.
I don't understand. Like what is off on the skew with that? Because that shit is so strong.
I don't know.
Have you ever done smelling salts?
No, I haven't.
That would be an interesting test because smelling salts are like that rush of burn is pure chemical, and it's like it wakes you the fuck up. But like, I'd be curious if you would respond to it like the average person, which is whoa, or if it would just be catnip.
Or I would be like, oh, smelling salts.
Yeah, I almost.
It's impossible to know. It's impossible to know.
You might be better off not knowing.
I don't want to. I can't go down this path because if I go down this path, I'm going to be like doing whippets in the car and frying my fucking brain.
That's fucked up. All right. Okay.
Do I like paint thinner? You mean like acetone? Yeah. It smells great.
The marker sniffing, like all just no. That shit that causes a like strong chemical ammonia cleaner whatever
give
reaction.
Me the chemicals, man.
Oh god.
But I have the self-control to when I smell a chemical that smells good, my brain goes, that's probably bad for you. Stop smelling it. And I walk away.
Pat huffs at. Oh boy. Just starting to stream with some fucking balloons, just unloading balloons into your mouth.
Hey man, I tell you what, when I got my wisdom teeth out, they gave me the nitrous, they gave me the laughing gas. I can highly recommend laughing gas for all occasions. Laughing gas is the best because they were cutting out my teeth and kicking me in the face, and I had bruises all over, and it hurt like fuck, and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that air head high is not. I don't like it. I don't enjoy that. I've had it before, and it's not like I want it over with as soon as possible. You know, of the different kinds of highs, I felt that was unpleasant.
It's the wildest thing because like I was in so much pain and I felt the pain, but I didn't care. That like it is the strangest experience I could ever explain to anyone.
Interesting. I think we've covered this before, but for me, like, hospital bed with a morphine button, just that was the danger. That was the get this away from me as soon as as soon as I'm better. That was a fucking bad because you're like, this is literally a happy button.
Yeah, no, my dad, he did the heart surgery, right? And he had drugs, and he's a total narc. And then they're like, Mr. Boivin, do you want a hit of morphine? And he's like, you know, because he's all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes from like a corpse to like, oh yeah. And like I've been with Paige in the hospital where she's been in so much pain, and they're like, "Ma'am, do you want some morphine?" She's like, "Yeah." And they hit her with that shit, and she's just like, "Ah, yeah." That woman's been in the hospital a lot. She has had a lot of morphine.
Yeah, but
Morphine's good.
But
It's
you
good.
need to have it with those walls and things up. Because the moment you're like, "Do you want some to go?" You know what I mean? The moment anyone can make that to take and let you take that to go, there is a problem, and the problem is that you can get it to go. Actually,
hey, I have a historical tidbit for you that you'll get a kick out of. Do you know what heroin is supposed to be? Originally, in its genesis, in its creation, it is supposed to be a less addictive version of morphine for general purpose use. Heroin's original creation was as a less addictive morphine.
So it started as a methadone style. We're trying to wean you off.
We're trying to tone down morphine addiction.
Jesus
because
Christ.
Soldiers were coming back from the think LA Noire, right?
Yeah.
Think of how much morphine there was.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Well, we got to make a version of morphine that's safer for hospital use. Oh, well.
Shit.
Oopsie doodle.
All right. That'll do.
All right, everybody, don't huff gas.
Especially if you might enjoy it way too much.
Yeah.